Yeah, so dude, I've been meaning to ask you, like, have you gotten your shekels in the mail yet?
No, not
Because
yet.
it's an envelope filled to the brim with shekels, right?
Oh well, I mean, I'm getting paid in Goy coin. I don't know about you. Look, I'll call Avi up. I'm due to meet him for bagels
Okay, yeah, and
next
I
week. We can sort it out.
right.
Um,
So
so
where
okay, did you get the latest like info pack though? Right. So
uh,
we're controlled opposition now. So
right.
our sort of latest job is we've got to go against like Lindsay like really hard. I was talking to
Yeah.
him the other day. Like
Dude,
he's cool
I
about
can't
it.
even
Like
keep it up. I had lunch with him the other day. He's looking super buff in person. It's
yeah, I know,
unbelievable.
I know. I mean, he's just such an uber chad, right? But we're gonna get extra overtime pay for
Mhm.
really going hard and sort of like pushing
I know the
that
first stream was
dialectic.
2 hours, then 3 hours, now 3.5 hours. You think
Man,
anyone's gonna get suspicious? Do you think they're gonna
it's
be like, "Oh,
no,
they're"
look. I think it'll be fine. I mean, look, it's such good money, man. I mean, look,
I
I mean,
know, I know.
honestly, right? Like, like I'm already eyeing up like this boat and stuff. Like, just keep it on the down low. Make
Yeah.
sure nobody like finds out.
I don't think
And
anyone's gonna suspect anything. I
I
think I
don't
have
think
a pretty
so.
good
Look,
number. Yeah.
I think I think we're doing pretty well. I think everyone sort of like believes like what we're doing and
Yeah.
stuff. And as long as we just keep a direction, just keep the dialectic going,
Right. So
it should be fine.
we'll
Yeah,
just act like we're exposing their secrets, but it's stuff that's off of Wikipedia, right? Like, it's not like it's
yeah,
hidden
yeah. I mean,
information.
look,
People are so gullible. They're so stupid.
yeah, yeah, no, exactly, right.
Okay.
Just
Oh,
go
it's
with
it's
Wikipedia.
it's 6 o'clock. We gotta. Hey, ready?
Yeah,
Ready?
okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. Right.
And it looks like we're live.
We're live! Oh my god, we're live again. Oh, it's so good to be back. Welcome, chat. How is everybody doing? It's lovely to be back. We've been thawed out yet again in our cryogenic chambers under the mountain to bring you another episode of Artie and Fist. How you doing, Artie?
Audie and Fist. Audie and
Artie and
Fist. You
Fist.
gotta do the
You
song.
should be sure of that we're both on a list. Artie and Fist. Artie and Fist. After tonight, the moose will be pissed. This
Yeah,
is a pretty heavy episode. this
it is.
fuck.
You know, I
I'm
of course
sweating
I'm very
bagels
good.
here, mate. I'm telling you.
I'm really gonna flex my atheist, liberal, civic nationalist skills today. Okay,
Uh,
I really want to be the villain. I really want to try and draw ire and unite the black and white races against the moose, and we're gonna see if I can do that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've I mean, I actually had to go to my first porno shoot. In my continuing saga of trying to like pay off this incredible
I believe the
entertainment.
number 20.
Yeah. Well, look,
Nothing
I
you can do
I
about
showed
that, huh?
up, and it turns out actually that the entire cast got like a stomach bug.
Yeah.
Apparently there was something going wrong with craft services. It was a terrible mess, mate.
Okay,
I'm telling you.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. They did. They definitely didn't just see your dick and call out. Okay.
I'll have you.
All
I'll
right.
have you know, I am rocking some 100% high quality Wiener sausage. Thank you very much.
But is it circumcised? Is it
Why do
kosher?
you think Avi Lieberman was so so gung ho about getting me to auction it off? You know what I'm saying?
But humiliation. What they all like. I'm in a dress in a single. I got the Martin Lawrence, Steven Crowder thing where I just have to wear a dress on camera. Okay. Mine's easy. Yours 20, and I know that those are shot pretty quickly, but I mean, it's put a dent in your week to bang those out.
Well, look, the key is physical training, some good stretching exercises. you know.
You are the.
Yeah, I mean, look, you do look lovely in a dress. I've got to say, right? That sort of black velvet strappy number you've got, off the shoulder with like the slit up the leg. It's beautiful, man. Like really, you just look radiant, quite frankly.
You really do swing both ways, don't you? You really. Are you sure you didn't volunteer? Are you sure you didn't have the scripts ready for these 20 films? I'm very suspicious of that.
No, absolutely not. I can't believe that you'd even suggest that, mate. I'm 100%, chalk Chad.
I know.
I don't even want to. I don't want to hear it, mate. I'm only gay for pay. Thank you very, very much.
Usually there's there's like a series, there's like a lineage, like a Backdoor Sluts 9, like a Boo Bangers 8. You actually made You actually made the deep annals of fistery 1 through 20. I've seen the title pages strewn about your room.
My favorite was number 16. Actually, that was a real cinematic tour de force. Myself and Rod Hardstep put in an amazing performance.
What is wrong with us? Okay.
I don't know, mate.
Okay. So,
hello to everyone in the chat. We've already got some super chats, mate, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Big time coming in for $10.
That was before the stream even started. God damn.
For the hard R's, would you ever do a show on the CRS shutting down? Academic Agent talked about it, and the book America's Peacemakers, A Force for Evil Against the White People. Well, it turns out, big time,
right?
You are in luck through sheer psychic power in the sort of, 20 minutes since you did that super chat. And now we managed to put together an entire show exactly on that subject. Amazingly coincidental.
That is incredible. I don't know if he's messing with us or not, but that's supposed to be the intro for the show.
I guess. I just hope no one heard our little conversation.
No, I know what I'm doing at this point. The first
right.
Messed up. Now I know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm not going to leak our personal details out like that. I'm not.
I mean, we wouldn't want people to know, that we were secretly controlled opposition or anything like that, right? That'd be, a bit awkward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're secretly controlled opposition, and we're really friends with James Lindsay, and we're getting shekels mailed to us in the mail, more than we can count. Every day is like Scrooge McDuck in the vault with shekels. Yeah. Look, okay. That's what we're doing.
You have got to switch over to Goycoin, right? There's like an app. I think it's called like Wailing Wallet or something like that, right? Just download that.
I don't.
And you won't have to get it in the mail. It's incredibly convenient. I mean,
you're gonna okay. Out of all the research you've done, you're gonna trust them with a digital currency in your wallet. You trust that is what you're telling me.
Mate, it's the Wailing Wallet, right? I don't know, right? Like, look, it's look, if you can't trust these kinds of people with complex financial instruments, well, who can you trust? Right? You know what I'm saying?
I'm taking the shekels. I don't trust it. My mattress is now 17 feet off the ground by putting them all in my mattress.
You're literally floating on shekels, right? The Lone Canuck for 20 Canadian dollars, 20 loonies. You guys are great background noise. Thank you very much.
Typically an insult that you're just background noise.
No.
Typically, but in the world of streaming, I'm learning this is a good thing.
No, this is a good thing. My wife watches like a ton of stuff on background noise. Like that's how she gets through, 3-4 hour podcasts. She'll just put them on,
right?
And she'll be doing something. So apparently the key for good background noise is to sort of have a good back and forward between the hosts and both people.
Oh, a bit of banter in the beginning. I see what you're saying.
Sorry?
A bit of banter in the beginning. I see what you're saying.
Bit of banter in the beginning. That's what she said. Something like that, right? Who else we got in the chat? Chris, that's Chatterack, Hurt Chain, Zane G, Total Blackout Painting, good to see you, mate. Blah, Payday, Comact Man. I can never pronounce that guy's name. Big Doinks. Got all the hard R fellas. Evil Author 1776, Wyatt's Torch. Great to see you guys. We got another super chat from Big Time. My God, he's given us such a big time.
He's always big time, everybody. Hey, are my glasses on, or is he looking a little bit lighter?
He's looking a bit heavier in the trouser department, if you know what I'm saying, right?
His skin's getting a little lighter. Anybody notice that? Look at the other ones in there. He's looking. That's a Monique. That's a Brandy. Lighter. That's a Will Smith. That's not 50 Cent. No. That's more of a Floyd Mayweather. Really a little bit of mocha going on. He's doing some skin lightening. Wow.
He's getting lighter and more turgid at the same time. Those are the kind of benefits that you can expect from being a hard R fella, bros. Big Time for $5. Thank you very much for all your new male co-stars. A rubber fundraiser. Thank you very much, Big Time, for being so concerned about my health.
Rubber. Rubber. Yeah, right, dude.
For Big Chris, for $2. Only 77 more days till Kwanzaa. I'm so excited.
Wow.
Gee.
Wouldn't you know that's a black communist holiday? Wouldn't you know? And it's
Really?
did you know that?
I knew it
It's-
was like an invented black holiday, but
Yeah, and like the 70s.
now that you say it, of course the communists like sorted up.
Yeah, no, another thing that's communist and on a calendar, you know. Thank you for that, though.
Did I tell you I bought a new mic today, right? New Rode pod mic. I was like, because I've had this microphone for like, oh my god, 12 years or something like that, right? And
Yeah.
it's behaving a bit finicky. So I look it up and like I take it out. It is absolute crap. I'm back on the old microphone. It's gotten worse. Modern world, mate. I think I should just buy another one from like a 2010.
Just use the same one.
Well,
Who
yeah,
gives
well,
a shit?
I was worried that that's why, my signal was dying and stuff. You know how sometimes.
Oh, it cuts out. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was Mossad. And then I thought maybe I should explore whether it was my hardware before blaming Mossad. I know that's not sort of like really the de rigueur sort of like thing to do these days, right? You should just blame Mossad straight off the bat until proven gay. But yeah, I thought,
I'm listing the names of federal commies, their names and jobs, so I think you might be a little safe in the meantime. I do try and be the canary in the coal mine.
Coal mine doesn't seem like a good place for a canary, right? When they get like stuck and like flap around and like panic and stuff in the dark.
Do you know what that means? The canary in the coal mine?
Yeah. I know they use it to test for oh my god, what was that like crazy gas they get in coal mines?
That's what my channel is. I don't know how we got this far, fellas.
We got Jacob Cantrell in the chat, Fragile Thinking, Zane G. Mate, the fellas are all here. Speaking of the fellas,
yeah,
should we
do
the list, Artie?
Put it up, and I'm going to try and read it as quickly and accurately as possible because there's so many hard R fellers now. Okay, we got Nick Nilsson, we got the new GM, we got Blaze Halderman, we got Master Shake, we got Missican, we got, you can just play it.
Yeah.
We got Dark
Hand. Soul on the Lich, Hurt Chain.
Yeah, it's blurry for me. Can you get to these?
Sorry?
It's blurry for me on the stream.
Oh, right. Soul on the Lich, Hurt Chain, Ardent Party, Lego Ma Ahegao, Poster Enthusiast, Foda Bet, Jacob Cantrell, something Arabic that I can't pronounce, Total Blackout Painting, what a Chad he is, Mothman Cult Leader, Judy Destroyer, Valavinge, Big Boinks, Mike Williams.
It's different when you read it out loud.
Hair Doctor, Your Mum's Legs, Big Time, Death Takes, Quizats, Chatterack, Doomed to Coom, Mead of Odin, Jephistopheles, Dirk Diggles, The Agile Walrus, Based Crusader 76, Lord Zero, Jake, Uncle Javi, and Big Nick Digger. Thank you so much, everyone.
Fellers, at the Hard R Feller tier, you do get ad-free streams after we post a stream within a couple of hours once it loads. You also get lore and laughs. Now, the last video was a laughs video. The next video is going to be a lore video, and I'm going to show you a clip of it where it's going to be me in 2018 noticing some things about the black population, and I made an 1.5-hour video just really bashing my face against a wall as to why none of my friends or anybody was noticing what I was noticing. So if you want to pull that video up, I'm going to show you the start to this 1.5-hour video and then how it ends, so you can just try to imagine what's in between.
Wait. You talking to me to pull this up?
Yes, to you. Yes.
I don't have membership.
Black guy. No, black guy with the glasses.
Sorry?
Black guy with the glasses in Telegram.
Black guy with the glasses.
So
right.
Yeah.
Right. I see it. I sees it. Ah, shit. Okay. Here we go. Right.
Okay. So this is how it starts. You want a hot take? It seems like black people are being raised with like a personality disorder. Like they're delusional, Black identitarians. This is about black identitarians. It's all black and white, but I'm talking about black identitarians. They're tribal, delusional, paranoid, often aggressive, have no account. Like there's enough qualifications and factors and patterns of behavior that are so repetitive. I'm going to show you so many examples of it. But it can be diagnosed as something. It's like black identity fucking disorder syndrome.
And this is how it ends an hour and a half later.
Dude, I'm in labor because I've been having contractions since. What the fuck? How do you guys not realize this? It's a lone black woman. It's a lone black woman giving birth.
Hey, Kanisha.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
So you can watch the liberalism slowly leave my body more and more over the years in these videos.
Dude, that looks
7 8 years ago.
that looks fucking harrowing, mate.
Yeah, that's a gnarly one. I really let off some steam in that one.
We got 100 Argentine. Is that ARS? Is that Argentinian?
Oh yeah, dude, that's like $6,000.
Solons from Solon the Lich. Harry Potter. Why do the Gringotts control the banking, Hagrid? You must not notice things, Harry. That's woke right. The ideology of Lord Kanye Mort. Oh, he who shall not be named. And we got holy shit, $99. Nearly $100 from Lord Zero. Sup, God, thank you very much. He didn't even give us a witty message, mate. He's just he just walks in,
swinging his
whips
dick.
out that huge cock.
Dude, he just swung his dick so fucking hard, dude. You know how he said sup. We can all hear how he said sup in our fucking brains, dude. What an absolute fucking giga Chad. Sup.
Now that,
no question,
that
no
is,
comment.
That is super chat.
Holy
aura.
shit, dude.
Right there.
Oh my fucking God, dude. All right. You want some history? You want some laughs? All right. I'll entertain you, motherfucker. Cocksucker. Gonna show me up. I'll show you what's up. I'll give you some bang for your buck after that one, motherfucker. Come over here and give me money on my own show. I'll show you. Holy shit.
I don't know. I think you just mocked both of us, mate. Super chat that large. I'm feeling quite emasculated. Yeah,
I don't think I have a dick. I don't even
up,
think I have a dick. I'm gonna be pissing on my balls for the next week. It's not even gonna, my dick's not even gonna make it past my balls. It's just pee on my balls for the next couple of weeks after that one.
Right, so
Wild.
let's start with our first segment. Lindsay Watch. Dun, 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 dun. Of course, as you know, we need to keep a close eye upon Lindsay and the other woke centrists. Why? Because he is the lol cow that keeps on giving. Latest breaking news. He has decided to leave MAGA, bros. What is MAGA going to do without him? Oh my God. You can imagine all the MAGA bros being like, no, James, no, please come back. Tell us how we're all Nazis, right? Because that's really.
We haven't heard that though.
He
He really is very revolutionary in his thinking because we haven't heard that yet that we're Nazis. It's a very novel approach he's taking.
Yeah, it is. It is. I believe he like dreamed it up, in some sort of Israeli laboratory. Truly amazing. Now, of course, you've got to understand that although it is a leftist tactic to splinter off and then sort of withdraw and basically try and like put like a moral thing, that's not what James is doing because by definition, nothing he can do can be a leftist tactic. Okay, right? I just want to make this clear. So even though he is utilizing leftist tactics.
Are you sure though? Because he's feverishly debated this with Dave Smith, with a lot of his like interlocutors, Carl Benjamin. He just went on Benjamin Boyce the other day. He's feverishly debating against these ideas. So are you sure?
Wait.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He doesn't debate anybody, and he just stays in his fucking his castle is getting smaller and smaller by the day. By the way. It's
right,
shrinking.
but look, if you think about it, okay, right? Why would he want to debate such filth, right? As as myself, or Ben or on, right? I mean, like we're not really people, right? In the way that he is. I mean, look at someone like Carl Benjamin, right? I mean, what does he know? Right? I mean, like, when has that guy ever said anything intelligent? So you can understand he probably feels like Galactus, like some huge brained alien trying to debate like a retarded mouse or something. Like that's the kind of, difference in IQ, right? Like 1,000 standard deviations. You probably couldn't even understand a word that he said, right? So,
Do we get a super chat?
Understand it. got another super chat. $5 from Reigning Terror.
Thank you,
First
Mike.
stream I caught. I might have had something to say last week, but now I'll just throw money at you. Thank you very much, Reigning Terror, mate. For $5.
I'm such a whore.
Or for $99, like you get the full special. I'll even give you a uncut pre-release of.
Yeah, are you uncut? So Mr. Ghost said, "Such a lord of zeros, he gave us 2."
Right,
unbelievable. Okay,
now this guy who we call Sniper Anon because he doesn't really have a Twitter name. Good lad. He's a good lad. He's been messing around with the new AI engine, video engine, Sora, and he has made some very, very funny Lindsay posting. And we're going to watch them because, quite frankly, they're fucking hilarious. Like theme tunes and everything. Sniper Anon, if you're watching this, we need an episode. Okay, we need like a 10-minute episode with like a story arc and stuff. Like you have to do it. Okay, for the good of the community, right? If you won't do it for yourself, do it for the world, right? Like the world needs to see this art.
It's getting pretty good, and there's really small details that are very impressive to me in this.
Mate, I just love the theme tune for this. Yeah, check this out.
James thinks everyone's a Nazi when they disagree. He's swinging at the shadows only he can see. Friends just want to drink a beer. They're not sure what he's about, but it's a night out.
Well, that's that.
You did your part. Here, a little silver for your troubles.
Thanks.
Spend it wisely, my boy.
All right, let's see. Oh, no, they're...
Hey, sorry to interrupt. I have really strong hands. I do massage therapy and martial arts.
Oh, yeah.
Want to see a move?
Absolutely.
Okay, here goes.
Oh, gosh, he's actually twirling. I can't watch this. This is so awkward. He's committed, though. Stop, I'm crying. Someone get him off the stage.
Yeah, the woke right is totally socio-gnostic. I could try to explain, but it's better to just think of it as dumb magic.
Wow, tell me more about how great Israel is.
See, woke is Gnostic because it's about a small elite using hidden knowledge to alchemically transmute the world.
That sounds a lot more like Kabbalah. I think I better go home.
Okay, guess that's that. 317, great.
Still clinging to your metaphors, refusing the truth?
I can't believe in what I can't see.
Oh no.
James thinks everyone's a Nazi when they disagree. He's swinging at the shadows only he can see.
There's a lot of potential there. Dude, when he's dancing, his movements are hilarious. But also,
oh my God.
I love how the hands that hurt and the hands that heal are now becoming immortalized in actual art. But the girls making fun of him as he's doing that is such a small detail to be there. I can't. It would, like, back in my day, you'd have to find some broads that are willing to record something, voice act, multiple takes, and it was just done so well.
Man, AI is gonna do amazing things, right? Like we may all be like starving and unemployed, but there will be like cool political.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet. It's getting there.
We got like a bunch of these. I'll just play this.
You're all crazy.
You did what you could, my friend. Here, your silver.
Thanks, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing for departure.
All right, let's see. Down 99. You're all crazy.
It's incredible. Well, what's funny too is what you're going to be showing his little meltdown. He's admitting things that he shouldn't be admitting behind the closed doors.
Yeah, you can see the evolution as well, right? This one he's
look at how fat he is. Look at his neck.
Yeah, he's been chubbed up a little.
It knows to make him comically fat. I wonder if they put in the prompt and he was like perfect, now fatter, and he goes, okay.
The thing is, like, you could diffuse a lot of this by just laughing at it and just being like, oh yeah, that's actually pretty funny. But too serious. Oh, too serious to laugh. That's also like a bit of a leftist quality.
It's worse than too serious. It's he tries to shit talk back, and he can't.
Yeah.
He's like the 40-year-old virgin. Like he has that level of energy when he's trying to shit talk, and I swear to God, dude, he is mentally and emotionally like 13 years old. Like he just stopped growing at a certain point. He's so bad at talking shit. Be like Billboard Chris Rufo. Just do your thing. Be an actual academic. Work on some stuff. Don't try and talk shit, dude. It's not working.
Okay, so this is more from the restaurant, I guess.
The barbarians have already taken MAGA.
Let's go! Yeah, boys! Christ is our king! Praise him, man! The Lord reigns forever!
Lift it up! Hallelujah!
Christ our king!
Didn't he just post that today? He just posted that today, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The barbarians have already taken MAGA. Decision now is to either fight to get it back or cut our losses and start building something better. Yeah.
I love that strategy, dude. In 2025, it's like, dude, third party. Wow, James, you're a genius, dude. Wow, you're just thinking of that now, huh? Of course, that would be a third rail if somebody else did it.
And then we've got this after MAGA. This is great.
When the crowds are gone and the slogans fade, he's left with the pieces of choices he made, trying to build something better, standing on.
James, it's me, your favorite president. I've heard you've left the movement. Please come back.
Really?
Oh, man, listen
Just
to
kidding, loser.
He really thought the president was going to call.
That's pathetic.
Dude.
There's so much potential with this. There's so much potential.
Harsh. So a lot of this was sparked by
Yeah, look at what he posted. It's what, 50 American
support.
flags and then 25 Israel flags.
So this was a retweet of Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Which is just antagonization, by the way. He's doing that just to antagonize people, just so we can call them anti-Semitic. I mean, I don't know where he learned that from.
So we don't know who this guy is. Eric Erickson, Christian broadcaster. Yeah, I'm sure. So Marjorie Taylor Greene reposts this. James reposts that. Right, greatest ally in tweet form, obviously. And then he posted this insanely long thing about Candace Owens. I don't really even know where to go with this, honestly. He's basically talking about.
Wasn't he saying he got contacted privately? He got the call.
Yeah, he got the call. So
this
this is the answer to the question, right, that I and a couple of other people have asked about what happened in February 2021, right?
James
he was
Lord
covering the
drop.
Frankfurt School. He was like, he was veering onto asking, what is it about this certain sort of group of people?
Was he noticing something? Was he?
Yeah, he was on the verge of saying
really
something.
obvious. Yeah,
and then he was accused of the anti-Septicism, even though he is certainly in no way anti-Septic. Well, I think, James, you have proved that conclusively now, man. I think you have pledged your allegiance. No one can say that you are anti-Septic now. The details of my accusation are simple, far simpler than Charlie's situation. Notices on the right were noticing lots of people of Jewish ethnicity associated with communism, Bolshevism, critical theory, and woke leftist causes. Yeah, I feel like I noticed that. Did you notice that, Artie?
No, I don't notice anything at all. I don't notice anything. I behave. I like to be polite. I think it's rude to notice these things. We should just go along with whatever we're told to believe. That's just me.
Right.
Yeah,
of course. They were making the hasty generalization that it's all a Mooish plot, as they do. This is a massive oversimplification, and genuinely anti-septic reactionary and a genuinely anti-septic reactionary movement was on the rise as a result of their recruitment efforts. Or possibly people were just annoyed. I mean, like, it's quite possible that you just laid out all these civilization destroying ideas and then were like, this is why your civilization is destroyed. And then a bunch of people are like, hey, a lot of the people doing that destroying share a similar characteristic. Like, why is that? But, anyway, James says, I had noticed this happening and tried to say something about it, foolishly trying to cram a complicated idea I didn't have the right vocabulary for.
Aren't all of
into
his
a
ideas
single-
just so complicated? He always just wants to be able, like, isn't it your job to take complicated ideas and make them digestible? Isn't that all you do?
His job is to take complicated ideas and make them even more complicated to explain. Right?
Sorry. Yeah.
It was taken badly as me accusing the Moos of causing anti-septicism, which wasn't my intent at all. Yes, of course, because everybody knows that there is absolutely no way at all that anything that someone Mooish does could cause, a negative reaction from the Gentile community. That is just complete crazy talk.
I
right?
love the idea that James has all these posts where, like, you can't struggle session him. It's like, right, you capitulate immediately. There's no need for an entire session. You immediately bend the knee, you bow your head, and do it. There's no need to struggle session you. You whip into shape almost immediately.
For someone who talks so much about struggle sessioning, right? It's just like, oh no, master, this wasn't a struggle session. No, right? Okay. Did you do the self-criticism? I guess this is the self-criticism.
Oh, do we got
that
some,
he's like, this is the Maoist.
We got some super chats?
Yes, we do. What else we got? We've got try to blackout painting for $10. Tribute to my dudes and to shill my stream this coming Tuesday, talking about Dutch Baroque artist Jacob Jordan's. Very nice.
How do I have such intelligent people?
If you would like,
are we supposed to be a bunch of like brain dead, inbred racists? You have all of these these chats coming in that are just
so my knuckles drag on the ground, and I have hair like growing in like weird places because I'm just so fucking stupid. I mean, look, try to blackout painting. Twitter DM me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The link to your thing, and I'll stick it in the chat. We are nothing but kind to our advertisers. Thank you very much, TBP. Yeah. And Dongus Cock 69, your mum in the red corner with the cock slam for $10. Good to see you, Dongus, and your mum. I pledge allegiance to the flag of woke right America and rhetorical republic for which it stands. One meme under God, indivisible, for hilarity and laughs for all non-retards.
We might make that the Pledge of Allegiance for the stream at the beginning and make everybody stand up and put their hands over their hearts and take their hats off. No, not take their hats off, take their helmets off.
Take their
and then put their hand over their heart.
And Dongus Cocky's back again. One helping wasn't enough for him. For $2 in James Work Right Republic, ideas learn you. And Big Time sent one membership received by Zane G.
Fellas helping fellas. It's good to see. It's nice to see that.
So James continues his self-criticism, no doubt imagining that he is in Mao's China, which would be very different, obviously, to what this is.
Real quick, Christos with a gifted membership. Thank you very much, my dude. See, people are gifting them. People are kind of enjoying them,
Yeah.
Just going to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yes. I thought I was blaming the reactionaries for recruiting off noticing, which I couldn't name at the time. I did not correctly understand socialism, but once I had been corrected, I realized the flaws in my doctrinal thinking, and now I have come to the correct realization of socialism. I mean, Semitism. The left.
How is it not that?
This is creepy, man.
Isn't it?
James, are you all right, bro?
Who did he get the call from?
He got it. Barry Weiss. He got the call from Barry Weiss. He actually says it further down in the tweet. Barry Weiss, by the way, is about to be the head of CBS. So,
and that person's going to be covered later on. We are going to include when Dave Smith talked to Nick Fuentes, and I spent several minutes, possibly an hour, editing out all of the J words in it so I can play it worry-free on here. So
that must have taken a while.
Barry Weiss, yeah, dude, it wasn't fun, but Barry Weiss is mentioned in there, so that's actually pretty funny.
So once the cascade of accusations started, it couldn't be stopped. The left joined in gleefully, as did the early radical right. This, incidentally, is what Megyn Kelly. As a result of this confusing and unfair attack, as I saw it, I was frustrated because I did not realize that I had the incorrect understanding of socialism. Fortunately, Barry Weiss called to talk to me about it in private and correct my doctrinal thinking. She referred me to Mao's, contradictions amongst the people, and
See,
I
this
came
is
to
why
I came to
this is why people get
realize that
so frustrated with James is because he's supposed to know all of these tricks and he falls for all of them. He made everybody aware of all these tricks and then showed everybody how he falls for them so easily. That's why
it's so
you
like
can't
he
have
did a
respect for him.
whole series on Robert J. Lifton, communist brainwashing. What's it called? Robert J. Lifton, like brainwashing communist China or whatever. That literally covers all of this. Like this is just a public self-criticism that he's doing. Well,
Yeah, you don't have to struggle session him. He'll do that himself in front of
well,
everyone.
that's what
why did he admit this, by the way?
That's what self-criticism is. It's basically like a solo struggle session, right? So they struggle you, and then they tell you what you did wrong, and then you've got to like write out what it is that you did wrong and give it to the commissar. And if you don't do it right, they make you do it again. And this is like a big part of communist brainwashing. It was literally a sort of a hug box of conformity. So you're in like a dormitory with a whole bunch of other people.
Right, but do you think that like he is just retarded and did this, or this is a part he was supposed to do this?
Well,
is he just this stupid?
I don't know,
to say
mate. Right?
this?
Like if I was in his position, I had fucking Barry Weiss calling me up and being like, they're about to buy my like shitty website for 150 million. I'm about to be the head of CBS. Like maybe James is going to get a show on CBS. You know,
He's unemployable. No, he can't even find someone to do any work on new discourses. He's by himself.
Look, if he starts working for CBS, right, there will be tons of low-paid drones to do that, right? Like, it'll be fine. He'll have more drones than he knows what to do with. He'd be the James Lindsay Shabbos hour. You know? So basically, the gist of this essentially is he's like, he's very angry that Candace leaked those messages to do with Charlie Kirk. He basically confessed that, you're not going to believe this, bros, that he actually felt frustration at the moves, but he did not say this publicly, bros, right? He kept it to himself in his heart of hearts, and he has now expunged those feelings. He never turned against them. Oh my god, this is some 1984 level shit. I can't fucking believe this, man. Oh, dude.
I probably like a couple of days ago, I was like, he said something and I just reposted it. And I'm like, James, stop trying to get my attention. We're not making the stream about you. Stop. It's not going to happen. We're not going to do it. I don't have time for you. We're going to be covering the community response service and the Civil Rights Act and all of the stuff that history hasn't covered with those things. We have way better. And here we are talking about him. I can't do it. I can't get away from him. I can't get away from him.
Look, you try and leave and he just pulls you right back. Yeah.
I know, but this is probably what was happening in the community response service and in the Civil Rights Act, whispering in someone's ear, getting the phone call. This is that process over the course of generations. Anything that's not recorded in history, know very well that this is what happens in the background, where it's like, when the mob does this, it's bad. But when the Jews do it, when the Moos do it, it's go, be ashamed.
So
James.
when he was attacked by these Mooish people,
harassed ruthlessly,
in that moment, no, he's talking about Charlie, right? No, sorry, he's basically saying that Charlie probably felt bullied. And, felt compelled to do the opposite of what the bullies wanted. Rash, maybe unwise, maybe youthful, maybe foolish, maybe strategic, maybe just venting. In private, keep it to yourself. Do not talk about this in public. Oh, dude.
I can't even trust James to tell me how he feels, let alone how anyone else feels, which is like what I would say about a trans person, oddly enough.
Look how long this goes on for.
Okay. All right.
Like it just goes on. Yeah. It goes on and on and on.
So we've shown what happens in the background.
Yep.
And how someone you get the call, which is crazy because they want James to think he's that popular. They want him to think he's that popular and that important to give him a phone call and go, dude, you're so easy to manipulate. Here, say this instead, or essentially not say this instead. Don't say this instead. And I love how he says privately and then tells us about his private conversation on X. You fucking can't write it, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was back in 2021, so times have passed, right? These are past.
Why would you ever admit this?
Well, because it's a self-criticism session. For someone who writes so much about Maoism, it is very surprising he doesn't realize this. I guess because it's one thing to write about these things in an abstract way when you've never actually been through it, right? In the mind of a lot of people in the West, these psychological tricks, they only work if you're in like a dingy jail cell in China. No, these psychological tricks work on anyone.
But he spends all of his time saying James Lindsay was right. James Lindsay was right again. He spends all of his time going, you think it can't happen to you, but it can. And then that's exactly what happened to him. And he doesn't realize it. Dude, you can't write it. It's astral. You can't do a hyperbolic impression of James Lindsay. All you can do is hope to emulate him. And everything short of that is just an underselling of him.
I'm legit.
He is in a constant competition with himself.
I'm legit concerned about him, mate. That's just creepy. Anyway, Jacob Cantrell sends $2. Knuckles aren't my only thing that drags on the ground.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Mate, I hope you got some kind of protector for that, mate. You wouldn't want to like get chafing or something like that.
No, dude, turn it into the iron palm, okay? Let it drag.
Oh, and then right, so Benjamin Boyce comes back at this. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. Matthew 6:24. And James is like, leave the cult, Benjamin. Leave the cult, Benjamin.
It's
oh my God.
So pathetic, so childish.
Benjamin.
Can't talk to him.
Benjamin, Mr. Boyce, we need you to leave the cult and we need you to write a 3,000 word self-criticism session and post it on Twitter. And you should pay attention to how it is that you got into this cult and when it was that you realized that you were thinking incorrectly and who it was and how you managed to, get back to the thoughts of the people, the chosen people. Obviously, I will expect that from you, Benjamin, within 2 days, or you will be getting the call, my boy. Oh yes, you will. I'll phone up Abby Lieberman and him and his crew. They will give you the call, Ben. All right. So just so you know,
James Lindsay also had a post where he said 25 words isn't even that many for a writer. It took me about 45 minutes. So he admitted, and he spent 45 minutes writing 2,500 words on Twitter. He spent that long. He is unemployed. Is that what an employed
2,500 words in 45 minutes? Yeah, I could do that. If I was in the right frame of mind, if I had something I really wanted to get out, I could do that. But
sure.
That is, very verbal diarrhea, sort of like,
But you would hope people would read it. Right? And if everyone told you they're not reading your giant blocks of text, you probably wouldn't waste your time doing it, right?
Look, man, I
45 minutes.
First time I read someone's like self-criticism sessions, right? This is like a weird aside. Okay. When I was living in Sydney, I used to live in this suburb called Glebe, and there was a Scientology org in that same suburb, right? One day I go into the chip shop to get like a sausage roll or something like that. And one of the people from the Scientology org have left like all of their files on the counter, right? And I'm only like,
you're fucking with me.
I am not fucking with you, right?
All right.
And I'm a little shit. So I bugger off with them. And and I'm looking through them because I'd never seen any of this kind of like stuff. And it was just, all this like self-criticism like stuff, these e-meter readings and this guy being like how much he loves L. Ron Hubbard and how I didn't realize, before that, this was like a new thing. And, if you look through them chronologically, they tell him like a thing and then they change it. And he'd be like, oh, I didn't realize the the new thing. I still love L. Ron Hubbard so much, but I still, I mean, and that kind of turned me off reading people's self-criticism. That's a weird fucking story.
Okay, so
Right, we got some more super chats. Sex Freakman for €2 to defeat the woke for the great sleep forward. Payday Comact Man for €2. Barry Weiss anti-woke also before she said all whites bad. Well, I mean,
can you believe that?
Can't believe
Is that Barry Weiss of the Connecticut Barry Weisses?
That's right. And Colin Christensen for $20.
Jesus Christ, mate. Thank you.
Which is gayer, James or civil rights?
James is gayer. The civil rights is mooer. And James is pretty mooey.
And £5 from Christos. Kabbalah magic is a hell of a drug. Yeah, it is. I would not recommend.
In the AI, she goes, that just sounds like Kabbalah. So attention to detail in that.
That just sounds like Kabbalah.
So, Fist, have you heard about the CRS? Have you heard about the Community Response Service?
I have.
What do you know about that?
Actually,
has Trump shut it down? What's been going on with that?
Actually, you would find this hard to believe. But actually, I did an episode on this about, I don't know, a while back.
4 months ago.
With years. I will post it in the thing. So the Community Relations Service is a particularly pugnacious and horrible part of the anti-white deep state that was brought in with the Civil Rights Act in 1964, I say, on the back of an incredible amount of racial violence. Now, if you look at the sort of big...
Well, wait a minute. Weren't they there to reduce the racial violence?
Yeah, but you'll never believe it.
Okay. All right.
It actually didn't reduce the racial violence. The communists said...
Yeah, but imagine how bad that 1992 LA riots would have been, and how the Summer of Love in 2020. Imagine how bad it would have been without all of that bureaucracy helping us make it not as bad.
Oh, I know, right? It would have been like so much worse without this bureaucracy. So they said it would, like, I mean, look, this is classic communist tactics, right? Give us what we want and the violence will stop. You give them what they want, the violence in fact increases, because what they're doing is a transitional demand to undermine society. They have absolutely no intention of stopping. And honestly, like the history of race riots in America really goes back to 1935 to, what was that guy, Emmett Till? I think you know something about this, Artie, right?
Yeah, Emmett Till. I think that was 1955.
35, I believe. It was like the proto.
Well, that's what they made it into that.
Oh,
it's kind of yeah.
Yeah, they made it into that, but that's not. Oh no, wait. 1955. You're sorry.
I have numbers autism.
Sorry. You're absolutely right. Right. So
we'll get to 1935 later on.
That's right, because none of this really was a thing before World War II, and then after World War II, all this stuff kicked off. It did coincide with the immigration of a certain group that are renowned for communism, but this has absolutely nothing to do with any of this story, despite the fact that those same people keep popping up. But it would be it would be very, very bad of you to think that just because these group of people play central roles in this story, that they had anything to do with this story. Okay? I want to make this absolutely clear, right? I mean, they were there.
What was the accountability like with the CRS?
Right? They were there. They played central roles. You know, people like Seller, the Hart-Celler Act, you know, Levine, you know,
who are those people? Who's Levine, for example?
So Bertrand Levine is the guy who headed the CRS, the Community Relations Service. So we'll just give you a bit of background, bros.
Yeah.
So when the Civil Rights Act came through, it was a very, very comprehensive act. In fact, if you didn't know better, you might think that it was a purely cynical exercise at grabbing power, right? I wouldn't want anyone to think this, obviously. Clearly, this was all white people's fault, right? If there were not any white people, none of this would have happened. Honestly, this story is a tragedy in many parts. Before all this shit started, you sort of had a situation where the whites had their areas, the blacks had their areas. The blacks had their own schools, their own bus services. Like they had their own thing. And with the pass of the Civil Rights Act and forced integration, it basically messed up both groups. This forced sort of mixture of two essentially very different groups messed up both of them. What a surprise. So the violence leading up to the Civil Rights Act in 1964 starts in 1955 with the murder of Emmett Till. And all of these are, it's just George Floyd. It's just George Floyd over and over again.
The way it's written, and later on in the stream, we'll go into a little more detail of the Harlem race riots in 1935 and show you with primary sources what was said by the experts and by historians, and then what actually happened. So then you can tell that all of these things, the way that they're written, it's written just like the Floyd stuff, like you said.
That's right. That's right. The Harlem race riots were in 35. Right. Sorry, I was getting them. Yeah. I was getting them confused. Right. So the murder of Emmett Till sparked off a whole series of trouble. The Montgomery bus boycott, Rosa Parks, assisted very, very closely by the Moorish community, who were torn by the injustice of the treatment of American blacks. Obviously, nothing to do with communism at all, just out of the goodness of their heart. The Little Rock school integration crisis, there was like basically the Supreme Court said, you got to integrate, and a lot of the whites, racists, obviously, didn't want to integrate because they're racist and because they're white. And when these very, very noble blacks who clearly, had never done nothing and would never do nothing and would only improve the state of those white schools, as I think today proves, right? If the current world proves anything, it's that this admixture of these two groups has done nothing but improve the situation. If you compare school scores today to what they were back then, it's just amazing. It's better.
It really sounds like they were operating on the fee of give us access to white people or else we'll burn shit down. I mean, essentially is what it sounds like it comes down to, which may be a reason why the white people didn't really want them around. I mean, with those kind of bargaining skills, you don't really want to be around them, I'd say.
They didn't want to be around them because they racist, bro. Okay, right? Like, get your story straight. Like, what are we being paid for? My God, come on. Avi's going to be like, he's going to be very disappointed with those kinds of comments. So, okay, so you can see Martin Luther King becomes like a thing. The Birmingham campaign and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, nonviolent protests against segregation in Alabama, which drew a violent response from the authorities, including the use of police dogs, fire hoses, and mass arrests, many of whom were children. Right? This is all televised.
And so this, since mysteriously all of this violence was happening across the country, they're like, we need the government to step in to do something about this.
Funny how that works.
If you want to go back to the article and just give an overview of the CRS now, just so people have an understanding.
Yeah. Okay.
And we can see what their successes were. This very successful thing.
Do I have the successes pay? Yes, I do.
You will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So, the Community Relations Service was a landmark Justice Department office created in the 1960s during the Civil Rights Movement, which has now been closed. So as of says April 6th.
No, this is when they were saying it was going to be closed.
Right. Yeah, it has actually been closed. Right?
Yeah,
it
maybe like a week ago.
And closed. Good riddance, honestly.
Beginning of October.
An internal Justice Department memo reviewed by CBS said that Trump appointees are considering closing the Community Relations Service which was created by the CRA in 1964. The mission of the office was to be America's peacemaker. Yeah, in practice, that's not what it was, right? You ever see those when like white kids get like murdered and their parents get up on stage and they're like, oh, you know, you don't want to bring race into this. That's these chuckle fucks, basically, like threatening them.
Depending on the race of the victim is that depending on the advice that they give them. But so they say America's peacemaker. I think academic agent found the book America's Peacemaker, and it was written by a guy that was in the CRS, and they didn't have any accountability. And it was, as you'll read in this article, that it was completely confidential. Which, why did it have to be confidential? If a school shooting happened, like, certain things are confidential, but confidential, like, even most of the federal government didn't even know that this was in the federal government. That's how confidential it was.
Well, you gotta understand, Artie, it was confidential because the blacks would not trust the police, right? And so therefore, in order to defuse community tensions, which basically meant in practice just giving the blacks whatever they wanted at the expense of the white population. That's essentially what it always meant. So it meant more light touch policing, changing police rules to be more lenient, firing police officers, letting them like protest and riot, all this kind of in practice. What basically went down was that they always just helped the black community just get whatever they wanted, right? Whatever they were chimping out about. And there is significant evidence that, in fact, they both helped with and organized the chimping. So this is essentially a secret government agency that, by the way, they were not covered by the Freedom of Information Act. So none of their records are going to be preserved. They're probably all destroyed.
Yep.
No one is going to know what the fuck these people were doing.
Well, then how do we find out about this then? Then who wrote it?
Who wrote what? This
America's Peacemakers. How do we even know about the things that we know about that book that gave us information about it?
Because they're so proud of it, right? Because they
is there a lot of information on the author? What's his name?
Bertrand Levine. Of the Connecticut Levines, right? Old Appalachian family that just happened to move up to Connecticut. The Levines, yeah. I think I got a picture of him here. Actually, you can very, very clearly see his Appalachian heritage here.
He died in 2006. I think he wrote this maybe in 2002. So toward the end of his life, he's like, dude, I gotta tell everybody about this. We were involved in so many things. It's like a 500-page book. Too boring to read on stream. There's a lot of information in it. Anybody who wants it, we can get you a link to it.
So he was born in New York. What a surprise. Graduated from Syracuse University, served in the army in World War II and the Korean War, rose to captain, worked on civil rights for the American Moorish Committee in New York. Before moving to Washington in 1965, immediately after the Civil Rights Act was signed, he helped draft Rockville's human relations law and was a commission on the Montgomery County Human Relations Commission. Apart from that, this guy is a complete ghost.
Yeah.
I unleashed my autism. I could not find any other thing about this guy. He is completely a ghost. So he's in the war. Suddenly he's at the Department of Justice. Then, all of a sudden he winds up running this unaccountable race bureaucracy inside the Department of Justice. Now, there is this as well.
We should do a moo counter. So that's moo number 1, just to really drive it home.
Now, the other thing that I managed to turn up about Bertrand Levine is that he was the author of possibly the first US-wide racial police purge. The U.S. Department of Justice memo to Community Relations Service professional staff on police community relations, October 7th,
Of course he did on October 7th. These people can tell the future. I'm telling you.
Basically, just to summarize, he's like, we will now be liaisoning with all of the different police departments.
Just has
and
the power to do it. He just has the power to do
Mhm.
that, whoever this guy is. Leaves the military.
Any cops who are too spicy, any cops who do not treat the blacks with the respect that they deserve will be fired. We do not tolerate discrimination. We do not tolerate verbal brutality by any police officer against any citizen.
Words or violence, huh?
Words of violence.
Oh, yeah. You gotta love that one.
We of the police department are public servants. We serve the people, all the people of whatever color, whatever religion, whatever language, in whatever neighborhood. So this is where the unthinking tongue in 1965 can be the worst enemy which this department has.
It
can undo so much that is constructive. There is no room for it in the department, and you get the memo. And if you don't, you're gonna lose your freaking job.
Okay.
So this is where it all starts, bros. This is where it starts. Every officer of this department must put aside his personal feelings and prejudices when he goes on duty. He is a policeman for all the people, right? So basically, presumably, the cops have been like trying to deal with the black community,
profiling,
and their shenanigans,
do their
and
job.
they're like, you know. Now, give you an idea, by the way, of where this started. This is from 1942. This was the attitude of white soldiers that were serving in the war, basically saying that 82% of them did not want to train. They wanted segregation in training, in combat crews and in ground crews. A massive, massive majority. Well, clearly this won't do. Right? Clearly this will not do. Right? Who the fuck cares what they think? Then we have
That's real democracy.
This 1944 poll. 12% of non-moos appear to be definitely antiseptic, and 42% susceptible to antiseptic propaganda.
How do you determine that?
A 1943 poll revealed that 90% of the American people stated they would rather lose the war than give full equality to the American Negroes. Source: Troubling the Waters, Black-Jewish Relations in the American Century by Greenberg, 2006.
Moon number 2. Okay, thank you.
Moon number 2. And these, you know, they were clearly doing like a lot of attitudes, surveying American attitudes towards the Moos, because they were about to bring like a shitload of them over to America, and they wanted to make sure that people were sort of appropriately preconditioned.
This race war, they want you to think it was from slavery. There was Negroes in a Soviet Republic from like 1935, I'm pretty sure, right around there. Like there was communist materials coming from Russia to be like, ooh, that's a good clash that we can do. The blacks and whites there, and the blacks are poor and the whites are rich. The whites are rich. So this is a very planned thing. I know that there's a lot of fellas out there that like to say low IQ, genetics when it comes to the blacks. Sure, okay. What I want to focus on is how a lot of this was not organic, and a lot of this is very, very orchestrated. The Black American identity as it is today is essentially a mooish creation, a communist mooish creation, okay? Yeah. There was a lot of money, time, and control that went into making the people this way. It's essentially a eugenics experiment. They changed their bloodlines forever.
Yeah. And not only that, like, could I just point out here that proper enforcement of the law is in fact eugenicist, just by definition. Okay, so if you have some psycho that goes out and he's a murderer and he gets locked up for the rest of his life, he's not having any kids. This is a very, you remove them from the gene pool. This is what is supposed to happen. You are supposed to remove
incapacitating
these psycho people from the gene pool. And in the old days, you just kill them, right? Which absolutely ensured they weren't having any kids. And now the exact opposite has been happening. Oh, big time for $5.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. American Krogan's last big video talked about Company K, the first basketball American platoon in World War II, a complete failure. Yeah, I heard that.
Remember the Saul Alinsky video where they were like, "We need 600 jobs, and we need the jobs before we're trained." And then he was like, "And 3 days later, they fired all of them."
Yeah.
That's what they always say.
Did you hear the story they cooked up about how it was a black platoon that liberated one of the concentration camps? And it's complete bullshit. Like, there's just no way they were anywhere near that, part of Germany. There's so much fake history, man. It's just insane. But you got to remember, right? Like back in the day, they just write about stuff. Oh, and by the way, they faked a lot of photos back in the day. People have this weird sort of thing that oh, you couldn't fake photographs. Yeah, oh yes, you could. There were entire departments. The communists were great at this, faking photos. Look at all the stuff that happened with Stalin. You just you edit the photo. You take another photo.
It's so much easier to edit a photo that's lower quality too.
Yeah. But there was a whole industry doing this, right?
So hold on. So the office has a history of intervening during periods of heightened national unrest. Okay, so this is the CRS. So all of these riots are manufactured, which I will show you. All these the manufactured riots are happening. And so it's their job to intervene. So they were credited with helping prevent another riot in 1993. The LA riots in 1992 are among the worst race riots, probably top 10, top 5, top 10 that the United States has ever had. And the CRS, which was around for about 30 years at that point, was credited with preventing another one from happening. It's just considered a failure that the 1992 LA race riots happened. It's a success that one didn't happen in 1993. Much like the TSA is credited with preventing another 9/11 after it happened.
Or how the
it didn't happen again, though, did it?
Or how the COVID vax saved 100 million lives. You know what I mean?
What a retroactive. That's why I like reading from CBS News to be like, okay, let's see what the mainstream media is saying about them. They are credited with preventing another record-breaking riot from happening. Is huge cope.
Yeah, well, I mean, it didn't happen, did it? So,
well, actually, yeah. If you want, it said also work to ease rising racial tensions. So let's see what they're credited with. Of course, they're going to skip 2020.
Let's take a look at their greatest hits
from 2021 to 2024. Let's see how important. The civil rights happened. That a lot of tension, a lot of riots that happened after the Civil Rights Act as well. But let's see recently what they've been doing, and possibly if Trump is justified in getting rid of this department that doesn't have to report to him. And how much of the shadow part of the government? How does this even work?
Yeah. Well, I mean, do they even have to publish accounts? How far does this secrecy?
They don't. If there's no FOIA, how can you say they do? You only would have to keep documents at the behest of a potential FOIA. So if there's no FOIA,
no, because they're part of the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice could technically audit.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I imagine that would be quite difficult to do. I just have a hunch that, do you want to look at do you want to talk about the list?
Yeah. So if you want, you can just read the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Reducing tensions. Yeah.
And preventing the crime of hate. Isn't all crime a hate crime? Right. Anyway. During the last 4 years, the CRS facilitated more than 100 community dialogues across the country.
They're professional dialoguers. They facilitate dialogues that facilitate not having hate crimes. Oh, wow. So
including more than 40 forums on bias incidents and hate crimes. Gee, I mean, I wonder, do you think they were slanted in any particular way, given the sort of general tenor of the last 6 or 7 years, Artie? Do you think?
So we're getting DEI, HR sensitivity trainings privately, and then through the government, it's the exact same. So it's everywhere that this has been happening to spread this into our culture.
Yeah, so I bet you any money they're taking the whites aside, particularly the police, and being like, oh, well, you basically force them to riot. you said a bad word. You know, you enforce the law, and then at the same time, I bet you they're taking the blacks on the other side and being like, shit, that cracker, he done said like a hate crime, right? Like, you know, it's a classic divide and conquer. CRS conciliation specialists also facilitated more than 100 training programs and over a dozen formal mediation sessions. And indeed, they had like a mediation like handbook and all this stuff. They were breaking this out to schools. I bet this was a lot of the supporting stuff for critical race theory.
I just sent you something in Telegram just to support that it was anti-white, because we haven't really shown that. So I just want to make sure it's an X post from someone.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so first read the picture on the right.
Right. Okay, from a included title. Okay.
Yes, this.
Cops, cowards, film beating of man with cerebral palsy. Documented in some of the most graphic videos ever released by the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. 2 users were charged Tuesday with the vicious beating of a 23-year-old Pontiac man who has cerebral palsy.
Okay, so let's see what was referenced in America's Peacemakers by Mr. Levine, who has worked there for...
In Pontiac, Michigan, provided consultation and mediation after a man with cerebral palsy was brutally beaten by two men who used the victim's cell phone to record the assault and post it on social media.
What do you mean mediation? What are you talking about? Did you mediate? Did you talk to the guy with cerebral palsy? Like, dude, you gotta chill. Okay, I know you're mad that they did that. What mediation? It's this generic corporate-y language. This is why so much of the left is in corporate. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everything that, like, their life is corporate. When you talk to a leftist, everything they say is corporate. They're all politicians. That's how they live every day of their life. That's why everything is politics to them.
And they were basically all up in the whole BLM thing. Training protest groups in self-marshalling, which helps the group stay safe while in protest. So these guys were literally embedded in the protest, training people,
yes,
keeping group together, remaining alert to individuals who might be using the event to cause violence or trouble. Yeah, they were really good at that, right?
No wonder why I can show commie feds' faces and names. It's looking at me and they're like, dude, that's just the ones we let you see. Go ahead and show them all you want. You're never going to catch all the other ones we've had throughout history.
God damn it.
Right?
They were also meeting community needs during the pandemic. So does anyone remember when they told literally everyone to stay indoors because if they went outside, they'd spread COVID? And then when the BLM protests broke out, they were all like, oh no, BLM protests can't spread COVID because...
And the experts said that's what the experts said. The expert opinion was that it doesn't spread COVID because they're wearing masks, and then you see videos of thousands of them not wearing masks. Yeah, mask will save you if you're breathing heavily like you're in a basketball game at a protest, but not if you're calmly sitting down at work. Then it wouldn't protect you, or at school.
Yeah. So you couldn't go out and get a fucking burger or go to church or go to your mother's funeral.
Right.
But they could go out and protest for race communism.
That's what they assisted with. This is consumer facing. This is citizen facing. This is not done internally to program other people that work there. This is so we can read it and go, oh wow, that's what they did, huh? Oh my god, this. Oh my god.
They were helping law enforcement officers to engage and build partnerships with Muslim Americans and Sikh Americans. Amazing. So around the time that the lockdowns were on, and there was a massive spike in inbound migration from Muslim countries, you had these people engaging with and building partnerships with the Muslim and Sikh Americans. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Building partnerships
and fostering constructive dialogues on race.
Dude, this is like a horrible resume. This sounds like my resume when I was like 17 years old trying to get a job at McDonald's of my responsibilities for my previous job. I effectively communicated what I need to other team members, and I diffused conflict with customers that were angry. How does it not read like that? There's no actual specificity of what they actually did.
Yep. They kept peace during the George Floyd murder trial.
This
I
is
do,
just to
I do
antagonize.
recall that being particularly peaceful. I mean, oh my God. They deployed twice to Minneapolis in 2021, and look, nothing happened in Minneapolis. Right.
How
I
insulting
remember
is this?
distinctly after Derek Chauvin was sentenced, nothing happened whatsoever. So clearly they were like very, very successful. Oh my fucking God.
Aren't you proud of them? Can you believe that Trump would get rid of this civil rights era department?
Yeah, I'm everybody knows that anything civil rights is automatically good. Like
Yeah.
just adding civil rights to it. Like they should basically have forced organ harvesting for civil rights, because that will make it like great. Like really anything that has the word civil rights on it is automatically awesome.
If you guys thought the LGBTQIA plus was stupid, wait until you hear about the AANHPI. Go ahead.
Amid a nationwide wave of bias incidents and hate crimes against Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, AAHPI.
They're all in the same group, dude.
I bet
people
this
from
was during
China and people from Hawaii are like cousins, all right?
Do you remember the Stop Asian Hate thing?
Yeah,
that, like,
I actually
briefly
screamed.
flared and then like died
I spurred
around
out
like
so
the
hard.
COVID times.
I spurred out so hard. Somebody had to Stop Asian Hate on their sign on their lawn, and I rolled down my window and I was screaming out of my window, "Stop eating Asians! Stop it! Leave them alone! Stop eating Asians!" Until something popped in my forehead, dude. I was just screaming. Quelled.
Yeah, and who was it that was having a conflict with the Asian community? It was the whites, wasn't it? Right, because whites obviously be racists.
I think it was specifically Lithuanian Americans that were attacking.
Oh, those sneaky Lithuanian Americans, mate. Yeah,
possibly
yeah.
people from Eritrea. Yeah.
They were addressing campus tensions. They developed a new approach to its dialogue on race program. Oh, they had a dialogue.
All they do is make a program, and it's the same thing with a different name every time. Okay. All right. So that gives you an idea.
Basically, it's just, united against hate forums, reducing the potential for school hate crimes.
Reducing the potential for school hate crimes. Could you ever have the confidence to be a part of any sort of large program company or anything, and you write that down as like stuff that you did?
Well, it's fortunate that you can't be racist towards white people, because you see, racism equals power plus privilege. So by definition, when something really horrible happens to a white person, even if they're a child or a baby or something like that, it's impossible for it to be racist, because they have both power and privilege. You understand, mate?
Yes. And so what we've shown you so far is not a lot of things that we can prove. We really have to speculate, okay? Now, we've shown you the bad blacks, okay? Let me show you the good blacks. All right, fellas? If you want the MLK Project trailer. So there's a man named Chad.
Wait. Where is it? MLK.
I'm just going to explain while you're finding it. So
Okay.
there's a man named Chad O. Jackson, Christian, right? Republican.
Actually, look. Wait a second, Artie. This is quite heavy. I feel like we should just take like a quick commercial break.
Okay.
So let's just cool off with this.
I am Jewish and proud because Jews have always done what's right. We've led the fight for gay rights. Harvey Milk fought to ban discrimination based on sexual orientation. Eddie Windsor was a leader in the fight for marriage equality. Miriam Ben Shalom challenged the ban on gay people serving in the military. We've helped lead the fight for racial justice. Our rabbis were BFFs with MLK. Together with black leaders, Jews helped to establish over 20 HBCUs. During the civil rights movement, Jews were disproportionately involved in the protests. We've led the fight for women's rights, for equal pay and the right to choose, and against discrimination in the workplace. Jews were also among the first on the ground in Turkey, Ukraine, and Haiti. In Judaism, when it comes to helping others, no action is too big or too small. The Jewish principle of Tikkun Olam tells us that we have the power to change the world, and there are so many ways to do that. And this is why I am Jewish and proud.
Okay, so
I just want to say, okay, right? I mean, who are these people? really, right? I mean, people will say, okay, it's just some small. I mean, the World Jewish Congress. Like, who the fuck are these people anyway, right? Look, they're this very, very tiny, small group. They're hardly worth mentioning. International Federation of Moorish Communities and Organizers, founded in Geneva, Switzerland in 1936. According to its mission statement, the World Moorish Congress's main purpose is to act, quote, as the diplomatic arm of the Moorish people. Membership is open to all representative Moorish groups or communities, irrespective of the social, political, or economic ideology of the host countries. They have headquarters. The headquarters is in New York City, of course, but international
in New York
offices
City.
in Brussels, Belgium, Jerusalem, Paris, France, Moscow, Buenos Aires, Geneva, and they have special consultative status with the United Nations Economic and
This is only
Social
1936. This is only 1936. With B'nai B'rith, they've been in New York since 1843, which was the predecessor of the ADL. So this goes back so far and long, and that was an international fraternity of Moorish organizations. Which, how do you even have an international fraternal organization in fucking 1843? What are you, singing Telegram? How do you fucking communicate across the world quickly enough to have that level of coordination unless you had a central governing body to disseminate these? I'm sorry. I just can't believe it.
So it's important when you have criticisms of this particular group to realize that really they're all individuals, and you can't sort of say that there's some kind of overarching policy or there's any kind of sort of deciding body, because that would be like very racist, and these bodies don't exist. Definitely not since 1917. Absolutely not. If it did exist, it'd have a Wikipedia page or something, right? So look, it's these haters will say that this organization represents the world Moorish community, but that's not true. This woman, she's just an individual. She doesn't represent anything about the Moorish community as a whole. And all of these accusations that they have been behind things like gay rights and feminism and race communism and all this kind of other stuff is just pure conspiracy theory. In fact, it's very, very irresponsible for this individual woman, whoever she is, to act like she speaks for a community at all. Okay, so I don't want to hear any more about it. Okay.
Thank you for that disclaimer. YouTube, you heard that, right? You heard that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Absolutely not.
Okay, so Fist's expertise is in Moodyism. Okay, my expertise is in blacks. Okay. I've been, 10,000 hours and you're an expert. I'm at like 72,000 hours. Okay. Now, Chad Jackson, through his research, which is the same kind of research I did watching the same kinds of videos, came to the conclusion that MLK was a communist and he is devoting the rest of his life to have people follow religion, follow Christianity, specifically black people, because the black people were targeted the most and hit hardest by MLK and the Civil Rights Act.
Yep.
So now we're going to show good examples of black people. We're also going to show later on how they were doing well. He's going to show another side of black people in like 1905 that had their own businesses, had their own bus lines.
1905.
Until the Moos tried to start helping.
No, wait. 1905. Weren't they all still in chains on the plantation at this point, right?
No,
like singing.
We've been lied to, actually.
Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, right? Like I remember distinctly being taught in school that literally up until the time of MLK's I Have a Dream, there was just widespread slavery. Right? Like, I mean, surely, don't tell me I was misled,
I want
right?
everyone to know that, a lot of times white people might say, like, well, black people got to fix black people shit. This guy's doing it. You need to support this guy doing it. I don't mean, like, give money and, like, do whatever, but you just need to be aware that the problem is being worked on by a dedicated group of black Republican Christians trying for the love of God, to reverse this narrative that is 60 years old.
Yeah, give this guy a sub. I'll post it in the chat.
And, in the description is going to be his documentary, which I got a lot of information from, and then a documentary I made, like a 45-minute like info documentary that we're going to use today.
Okay. And hasn't he got like a GoFundMe or something for this documentary?
It's somewhere throughout his stuff. You'll be able to find it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Because I feel like this guy like really deserves support. And Chad O. Jackson is such a like based name. Really. Oh, we got a super chat. Big time,
mate.
Big time for $5. Remember the riot in Israel when one of the Likud party members led a group of peeps protesting the right to rape prisoners of war. Yeah, I do remember that.
It's like you guys have both already watched what I prepared with Nick Fuentes. It's incredible. You guys keep foreshadowing.
Okay.
After all they've been through, is there any group of people with more cool, with more swag than Black Americans?
Black folks keep saving this country. Keep putting their lives on the line to save this country.
America doesn't deserve the grace we continuously give it.
Many blacks today egotistically and really naively take pride in the fact that they belong to a race that they believed laid the blueprint for how activism should be done in America.
Our generation was not good business people. That's not what we did. We were good civil rights people.
We've always been the glue that kept this country together.
They do this for no other reason than the fact that the presumptive head of the civil rights movement happened to be a black man, Martin Luther King.
Stanley Levison was always in his ear. Always in his ear.
Levison was a secular Jew who was committed to the idea of social justice. He
I mean, I wouldn't say that. Oh, goodness me.
wrote everything that MLK said publicly.
I have a brief statement that I will read.
The sermons have been published in book form under the titles Stride Toward Freedom and Strength
He
to Love.
ghostwrote every book and article published under King's name.
Dr. King knew that Stanley was a communist, but since he too shared in Levison's Marxist sensibilities, he was all too willing to accept the leadership of Levison.
I have the honor to present to you the moral leader of our nation.
Our leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Our leader, Dr. King.
Our leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Dr. King was our leader.
He was a pastor, right? Marxists wrote King's speeches so well that even conservatives were duped.
The I Have a Dream speech, right? One of the great speeches in American rhetorical history.
He supported these ideas, particularly of the founders and the Declaration of Independence.
Reverend King, I'd like to prevail on you in behalf of my wife, my 2 young daughters, and myself, who are trying to operate a business here, to encourage your non-violent army to peacefully solicit some other property other than mine.
Not gonna be big.
Encourage your non-violent army. To encourage your non-violent army to please protest at a different store, dude.
Please don't destroy my livelihood with your non-violent army. Fucking hell.
In the book of Corinthians, 11 people will not ever enter the kingdom of heaven, and one is extortioner.
We have some dear white friends here who are with us, and we want to eat together.
What's the extortioner? Uses stress, intimidation to get what they want. What was the civil rights movement?
Freedom only comes through consistent agitation.
Threats, coercion.
Just giving the Negro an equal break is not enough.
I'm gonna bring the government down there and put a gun to your head.
We still have Martin Luther King holiday in America. Every major city has a Martin Luther King Boulevard.
The downfall of blacks has more to do with a mindset shift that was brought about by political rhetoric than anything else.
The civil rights leaders were making us believe as black folks that white ice is colder.
Have you ever heard that? That the white man's ice is always colder?
The white man's ice is always colder?
Yeah, so this is somewhere in the vault, and it's going to have to be a lore video at some point. I debated 2 black men on the N-word in 2017.
Uh-huh.
And Xavier let me know that black people thought that the white man's ice was always colder because it was the white man's ice. Same priced ice, same everything. They just thought it was colder. They just thought it was better because it was from the white man. So the white man's ice, that's what the white man's ice is always colder means.
Oh my God.
They actually believe that. And so they would buy from white people and not black people because that's how much on a pedestal white people were put by the blacks, by the programmed blacks that believe that they're the oppressor, so everything they have is better. Not from I'm not even calling them black, from Americans. It just so happens that they're black. Everything else, they were pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. They had their leaders that they listened to. They had factories. So yeah. So what I really want to clear up.
Didn't you have a clip about like showing some of the a guy talking about that, about how they used to have their own like bus lines and their own.
So that's what I want to get into right now. So I watched More Deadly Than War and Anarchy USA from 1969, 1966. Chad O. Jackson used one of those videos in his documentary to really show how the Civil Rights Act was buried up to its eyeballs in communism.
Right, but hang on. I just want to play this incredibly historical clip of Martin Luther King first. And this is kind of like some buried footage that you just turned up, Artie. It's pretty amazing.
Sir, you still need to pay for those.
I have a dream that one day these will be free of charge. Today is that day.
Wait.
You know, we really like to show you all. We want you to have a full scope of history on the stream, okay?
Stunning and brave. Oh wait, we've got Theodicy Ninga for $10. Crikey! I'm glad young right-wingers generally don't feel the need to pander to these groups who overwhelmingly vote for Dems, while older right-wingers generally pander to them, despite whites being the actual base. Yeah, it's the post-war mindfuck.
That's a really good comment.
Yeah.
It's so on one hand, we may look at the American black and go, oh my God, like I know that there were these incentives given to you, but did you really have to still turn out that way? The level of manipulation that's been going on in society to everybody before they had the internet, you really can't even blame them. So I'm always on the fence with older people. It's like, how could they have known? Well, now they have the internet. It's like they have been pumped full of propaganda their entire lives that this is how history went. And a lot of times people might think it's harrowing to look at these things that we can't control in history, but I have a lot of gratitude because this is the first time, and maybe the only time in human history, that we have the internet and we have this much knowledge about how much we're being fucked over. Do you know what
Ardent Party is saying that we missed a super chat from him? Oh my God, is that true? Oh my God, we did. I'm so sorry, Ardent. Oh, dude, that's some bad hosting right there. Ardent Party, the Canadian Alex Jones for $2 Canadian. I'll know show tonight. O. Jackson of the Atlanta Irish. Yes,
Chad O. Jackson.
Cork,
it sounds like an Irish name, but it's his middle initial is O. Chad O. Jackson.
Oh, right.
Chatty. That's how it sounds every time.
O. Jackson. Right. Okay. So what are we playing next, Artie? You were saying.
No, what I'm saying is this is the first time in human history that we can actually know how badly we've been getting fucked. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other time in history before the internet, you're piecing things together with books, and it's just the written word, and you don't know if it's 100% true. We have videos, we have receipts, so I feel very fortunate that I'm able to know this, and I feel a sense of duty and responsibility, which is why I made the BLM 1935 about the Harlem Race Riots, which is linked in the description, which goes into painstaking detail, and I have many primary sources to show that what we're told was an absolute lie. And it's when I really started to have more of a right-wing push. Once I realized that we're being lied to about history, and then I'm talking to the liberals, and they're like, okay, we're being lied about everything except for the Holocaust. And then I talk to right-wingers, and they're like, yeah, also the Holocaust. It's like, well, that makes more sense. That just makes a lot more sense once you realize you're being lied to.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
People talk about the modern internet and, and being in a bubble and an echo chamber and the propaganda is everywhere. But back in the day, the propaganda was it was total.
All you had.
There was no way to see footage from halfway across the world unless a TV station showed it to you. And, they were like, when I was growing up, there were like 4 TV channels. And it was literally structured so that each TV channel just catered to one very specific strain of liberal point of view, essentially. Like
Yeah.
it was just the mass media plantation. And I think you could argue that in a way, this sort of almost reached its peak in like the first Iraq War, when the internet was there, but it was tiny, and they just
You have to
literally
go on like Ogreish. You'd have to go on death sites to see stuff, and now everyone can just see it on X.
yeah, exactly. And now you can see. I mean, Baudrillard quite famously wrote a book saying that the Iraq War did not take place or did not happen, and he was just talking about how, from the American perspective, all of the stuff that they saw about the Iraq War was just mediated through CNN, and because CNN was influenced massively by the CIA, it was just a complete fiction and fabrication. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I did, Uncle Tom 2, which is Larry Elder and Chad O. Jackson, really combed through how good, there was independent Black Americans that were doing everything right, and they were like, you know what? If the white people don't want us around, then we'll go do our own shit. And honestly, if we didn't have government mandated integration, what would have happened is that there would have been some white people and some Black people that would have been fine getting together and whatnot, and then let's say most of them wouldn't. Well, what do you think is better? Trying to force white people to hang out with Black people, and then when they say no, there's a riot and they burn shit down. Or the Black people go, okay, and then they have engineers, plumbers, self-sufficient, their own buildings, their own bus lines, and then they're like, damn, they're really efficient. Shit, like this is how capitalism would have solved racism.
Yeah.
If it was organic and this wasn't a manufactured crisis constantly year after year, is that the white people would have went like, damn, we got to compete with them. What are they doing over there? And then they, commerce is how you shake hands no matter how you feel about somebody, I mean, that's literally the United States with the rest of the world. We're pretty cunty with the rest of the world. But...
Do we want to play that trailer from Uncle Tom 2?
So now this is going to be leading into the video I sent you that's like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So I edited a video combining both of those videos so we can comment on what we are seeing.
Okay, I don't seem to have it in... Oh, here we go. It's a 10-minute one,
download
right?
The 12 minutes?
Yeah.
But it starts out black and white footage?
Yeah, hang on.
Yeah, so you'll know which parts are Uncle Tom 2, and you'll know which parts are the video that I made.
I thought I put it in the... screw it. I'll just...
But I really...
No,
yeah. I really
no, wait, that's not it. Wait, I don't think I downloaded it from Telegram. Sorry, just give me a second.
Yeah. Do you see it?
Yep.
You
Yeah,
downloaded it?
I got it. It's just not.
So
it's not in my folder.
Yeah, what I really wanted to do is thread the needle of the level at which they lie. Here's how much they lie. In 1935, a kid stole, and how coordinated it is, he stole a pocket, okay? The communists immediately spread rumors that the kid got beaten up. They were like, where's this kid? And they all start storming the place. It all happened so quickly, but it's spontaneous.
Uh-huh.
And this is what is said by the not MSPCA. Nick, they're human beings. What is it called? Not the NAACP. That's not the SPLC. Oh my God. I've been looking at so many of these organizations. What the hell is it? One of these organizations that the director of it tells a story that they thought they saw a hearse across the street, and they thought that hearse was for the 14-year-old black kid that stole a pocket knife because they beat him and killed him. Which means that the black people thought that when someone dies, you don't call the ambulance, you call the hearse, and it comes by and picks them. Bro, this lie is so ridiculous. You're making them seem so stupid. They saw a hearse and they're like, see, he's dead. There's a hearse. And nobody could be like, that's not how that works. Of course not. They went with all this rage, and there was, it was the first modern race riot, because it was against property and not against people. So this is where this really started. The first time in recorded history that I can find. And the mayor at the time of New York was Fiorello LaGuardia. There's literally... The LaGuardia Airport is named after a Republican socialist. You got to remember, back in the day, you could be a socialist and Marxist and still be a Republican. They were still flirting with it back in the 20s and 30s. They didn't quite know what it was and how it, it hadn't manifested over and over again at that point. And then I also want to make the point that sociology was the syringe that injected Marxism into these situations, which will be in these videos. How are we doing on the downloading of that?
Oh yeah, it's good. We're ready to go.
Cool.
Yep. Okay, let's go.
They say during Jim Crow era that everywhere black people went, they were being attacked, that black people lived in fear of white people.
Racism. You have a beautiful placard here that talks about drinking fountains.
Right.
And so when white folks are legislating where black people can get access to water, that is a structural form of racism.
But even when they had the for colors only drinking fountain, for white only, blacks were still doing better then than they are today because the men were not sitting around whining like little girls talking about white people holding them back.
Black folk had 100 times more.
Man, I love Jesse Lee Peterson. Like,
that's the funny thing. With all the crazy things he says, he's still a religious black Republican. They put him in this documentary because with all the things that he says, sure, he has different methods, but he's on message. He's always been on.
There's a bunch of based black conservatives that I really enjoy watching on YouTube. They just seem really sane and down to earth. They're a rare breed. Like,
they've been suppressed artificially.
Yeah.
They've been suppressed for as long as humanly possible.
And it's weird, when you see them in conversation with we've got that Steven Crowder thing.
I hope we don't make it. I'm trying to stretch this out as much as possible.
Can you imagine
watch that?
Jesse Lee Peterson like in that barbershop? Honestly, Crowder should have said Jesse Lee Peterson in there to basically say like the same thing.
Well, Jesse Lee Peterson always debunks the myth because he is that old. He does remember.
Yeah.
So you can that's how you know it's actually about race. You would think the younger generation would listen to the older generation, but that's how you know it's commie shit because the younger generation always knows better than the older generation.
Before social integration hit. I'm old enough to tell you all that. You all not old enough to know that yet. When I was a kid, see, we had something. We weren't looking for this social integration. You know why? Because we had our own businesses there. We had our own cab companies. We had our own restaurants. We had our own hotels. We had our own school systems. My family was part of one that had the only black bus line in the entire United States. All of our mechanics was blacks. All of our drivers were blacks. Electricians was black. Everything was black. When they killed our buses, social integration. When all of a sudden, y'all started talking about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King going down to Alabama, want to integrate the bus lines. Integrate whose bus line?
I have always ridden in the back of the bus because I didn't have guts to get in the front of the bus. But now the time has come. And
Skids.
in the front of the bus.
I want the white
one. Winston-Salem says, we want to ride on front of some white buses. So we said, we don't have any white buses. They said, well, get some so we can ride on the front of them.
I feel like a complete asshole because I never thought about that. Like that whole time they did the boycott, they should have been trying to establish their own bus company as opposed to wanting to ride. I never thought about that. Y'all boycotted for a year just to want to ride on the front?
See, you're a smart man.
I never thought about that.
Fucking communists.
Isn't that wild? It's always at the destruction of the black community. And we see it every time, and we just have to watch it happen for the rest of our lives. It's crazy.
It's the destruction of everything, right? Like you destroy
the black community because we're destroying your communities for you.
Yeah, and then you'd be like, oh, the white men don't destroy your community. No one fucking was. The fucking communists destroyed all of this shit
at the behest of the moos.
Yeah.
But you got it now, right?
In 1905, black people were literally buying entire buildings. This idea that blacks were always at the mercy of whites is just asinine.
In 1905,
at least when it came to Booker T. Washington and the effect that he had on those who put his ideas into practice. He really pushed vocation, learning skilled trades, becoming your own man, taking responsibility of your own communities. And then you saw this large exodus of black people out of those skilled trades.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many of them left work?
Because they fell for the lie of the so-called black leadership.
What about sociology in
pause it.
general? The American
So
sociology.
he said that was in 1905 that they were building themselves up. So with history, I like to see how things happen concurrently. So
Right.
as that's happening, as they're building themselves up, this virus known as sociology starts to come to the United States. And I've done some research on this where like technically maybe in like Kentucky in like 1890 they were having like sociology like classes, but then in 1905 we have the American Sociological Society. How often do you hear that they consult a sociologist and this person's a sociologist like it's a real fucking title? Like it's not a soft science. They try and treat it like it's a hard science. So as they're building themselves up, this very pernicious, whether intentional or not, society pops up as to how to look at issues in society and study human behavior as they're building themselves up.
Just looking up Lester Frank Ward.
Oh no, I'm going to talk about it right now in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sociological Association is a non-profit organization dedicated to advancing the discipline and profession of sociology. Wow. Founded in December of 1905, the first president of the association would be Lester Frank Ward. Lester Frank Ward's immediate family were politically active and involved in various social causes. His older brother, Cyrus Ward, was heavily involved in the politics of labor unions and working class reform, and in the middle of the 1860s, he became a leading member of the socialist movement in New York City. Cyrus Ward went on to join Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in the International Workingmen's Association, to which he was elected a council member before being arrested as a spy during the Franco-Prussian War. So the first president of the American Sociological Association had a brother that worked with Karl Marx directly and was a pretty devout socialist, communist, whatever you want to call him. But that was just his brother that worked hand in hand with Karl Marx. That shouldn't affect the first president of the American Sociological Association, okay? Let's see what his ideas were. Ward hoped to use his scientific literacy to contribute to an American version of historical materialist sociology, opposing the then popular work of Herbert Spencer, with critique inspired by Karl Marx. Okay, well the critique was inspired by Karl Marx and his brother worked hand in hand with them. Wait a minute. What is historical materialist sociology? What's historical materialism? Historical materialism is Karl Marx's theory of history. Oh, critique inspired by Karl Marx. He was using Marx's theory of history. Now, many of these academics and thinkers didn't agree with the destroying of capitalism and being a revolutionary. No. They didn't agree with that part. They just agreed with Karl Marx's analysis and pushed his analysis forward. What do you think that's?
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah,
just a brief aside on historical materialism.
That's
now,
fine.
This is very misleading. Wikipedia being misleading about communism. Imagine my fucking shock. Okay. The important point about historical materialism under Marx is not that technological development changes the way things are made and affects society. The important thing about historical materialism was that it was stagist and teleological. In other words, Marx saw society advancing inevitably through different stages. The third stage was capitalism. I think the first stage is like feudalism, and then there's something else. Capitalism is the third stage, and then communism is the fourth stage. And the whole point about historical materialism was to explain history through this lens that everything was inevitably trending towards communism. This is why they're all about seize the means of production, because the means of production influenced the mode of production. And if you seize the means of production, you could force change from capitalism into communism. The fourth and final, actually, I think the fourth stage was socialism, which then leads to communism, if I got that right. But yeah, just as an aside. Sorry for that, Spurg.
To do in the streets. So the American Sociological Association is pretty Marxist, I would say, from their inception, whether intentional or not. Today, most of its members work in academia, while around 20% of them work in government, business, or nonprofit organizations. Let's go to Wikipedia, and wouldn't you know, the official commission by Mayor LaGuardia,
New York's Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia set up a biracial commission to diagnose the problem.
that biracial commission put out a report called The Negro in Harlem, a report on social and economic conditions responsible for the outbreak of March 19, 1935.
And I've been muted.
Okay, now.
Artie, can you hear me, man? Are you still like there?
Yeah, I just got booted. I'm fine.
Oh man. Oh my god. Right. Okay. Sorry about that. And I was muted at the same time. Antifa got you, didn't they? Right? They kicked in your door, molested your junk, made you like.
I gotta call Avi. I gotta call Avi and chew his ass out for that one. Doing everything he told me to do.
Sorry about the lack of noise, bros. Yeah, no, we're back. We're back. Right. Okay. So let's head on with this. Yeah. The mood shut us down, bro.
Which described the rioting as spontaneous, with no evidence of any program or leadership of the rioters. Now, I've already shown you that this is false. These were not spontaneous riots, very similar to BLM in 2020. The media and the experts will make them seem spontaneous when there's much evidence of their coordination and organization in the background. But what makes this so special is that this has been described as the first modern race riot because it was committed primarily against property rather than persons. That is a Marxist analysis. 3 people were killed, it didn't say they were killed by police, and hundreds were injured. But it was an attack against property, but deaths and injuries happened. The only way that you can interpret that as modern or
Can I just rewind this a bit, right? Like this fucking image.
What?
It's the Nike store, right? Like we have seen this image play. When is this? Do you know when this photo is from, mate? Is this
Can we
35 or something?
Can we start a Indiegogo for a looting through the years like coffee table book?
Looting through the years.
I'll
They
do
just
the
want
research for it.
They just want to feed them kids
Through
is
the
all.
years. And I bet we'll be able to find like 1723. Like we can go back really far because it seems to be in their bones.
Oh my
It
god!
seems to be
look
in
at
there
this.
good. That little bugger's in there good.
Oh my god! Oh dude, I'm just getting BLM flashbacks. You know, I watched that whole thing.
Look at this
from
bitch in the
London.
middle. Look at how many things. You can't see her face. I don't even know how she's holding that many things. The bitch right in the center. How many items is that? She can't see anything. I think she might be in heels. I don't even know how. That is maximum Gibbs. That's maximum Gibbs, dude.
Yep. They feeding them kids.
it was an attack against property, but deaths and injuries happened. The only way that you can interpret that as modern or different is that your analysis would have to shift to view it so.
In New York, about 1935,
So
a
pause it.
Negro boy was reported killed
So,
by the owner of a store.
This is in the same. This is from the video that Shadow Jackson used in Uncle Tom 2, and I don't know what it was. I heard this guy talking about a riot in 1935, and I'm like, let me just look that up. This doesn't exist. This is the only place that you can see this to correct the 1935 Harlem Race Riot.
Who is this guy? Do you know?
This is Leonard Patterson. Really hard to find stuff about him. You can find his expositions about him and another black ex-communist talking about you can find their court filings where they were calling out communists, and of course they were like, "You're lying." They essentially told him that he was crazy and he was lying, even though he had all of these examples. He could cross-reference dates and stuff like that. Of course, he got whatever information wrong one time, and what do you think they made the focus to be? So, So I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, this is the only citation of this historical correction. And since then, I've been unbelievably skeptical of everything that I hear. Where, what else have I been lied to about? I had to go to this video and then go to Wikipedia. This never would have been uncovered in any other way.
Yeah.
This is literally from 1966, dude. This is fucking 60 years ago, and I'm just trying to correct the record.
Bro, you only don't trust the thing because you're racist, bro. Right? Like, look, forget all of that stuff, history and communism. Just relax into the sweet balm of, whatever it is, whatever bullshit they tell you.
The best way that I can explain this is the yeah, but she's fat level of autism I have. So I am like a 5-year-old that's in a grocery store, and there's a fat woman, and I'm there with just my mom, and I go, "That lady's fat." My mom goes, "You're not supposed to say that." And I go, "Yeah, but she's fat." Like, yeah, but that's not polite. Yeah, but she's fat. So I get hyper focus on something that's true, and then somebody will like, because that's supposed to be a sign of autism or something, that you're saying something that's not culturally popular. I don't even know what the definition of autism is at this point. But if something is true, I will burn every bridge. I don't give a fuck. I'm tired of my reality being fucked with. And that's just how I've been more so my entire life. It's been the easiest to be this way on the right wing, fellas. This is why you have to be right wing. They actually very much reward the truth over here. Because I could talk about anti-communist stuff with the liberals, but I couldn't talk about the moos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't, it's not enough to be the right wing doesn't call themselves anti-communist because they don't have a negative identity. They have a positive identity with right wing. If you just call yourself anti-communist, you're still not anything. You're just not something. You gotta be right wing, fellas.
Yeah, and you got to be religious as well, because otherwise, right, when the devil come to you and offer you emoluments, bitches, money, right, to be like, oh look, just ignore the truth, just lie for money. What are you going to say if you're an atheist?
Well, this is why I'm trying to build the broadest tent, the largest coalition of dissident right-wingers, where I'm an atheist, you're Orthodox Christian, and what I asked the right-wing atheists to do, which they already seem to do, there's already been some of my comments, they venerate Christianity. They're like, yes, like that's you. All it really comes down to with the term atheist is bastardized. I'm gonna have to find something. I'm gonna have to find a better word. It's just having difficulty believing in something metaphysical as a certainty or a strong belief. It's really all that means. We agree with a lot of the principles.
You can still appreciate Christianity. I know atheists.
Not appreciate, venerate. A deep respect for it.
Yeah. I ain't mad at that. I can totally respect that.
There's more atheists like us. Like whenever you guys trash atheists and liberals, I'm right there with you. This is why I chose Chado Jackson, because in the same way I'm an atheist liberal, he's black and not a piece of shit. There's not a lot of us, okay?
Yeah.
He must hear things about black people all the time. He goes, "Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know." Trying to correct the record over here. I feel like I'm the same way on the other side.
Okay, let's see what this. So this guy, he's a black communist, and then he was active in the 30s, and then in the 60s he repented and he spilled the beans. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because he realized that they were just using black people as cannon fodder, as he says. Bamboozled. You hear?
Yeah. That would be a harsh realization, man.
Walk away campaign.
While in the act of stealing some merchandise, Communist Party headquarters decided to make a march out of the boy. So we went right to work, putting out handbills. In less than a half hour after we started, There was a race riot complete with smashing windows of white storekeepers, looting and all the rest. I'm not speaking of things I read about. These are things I personally participated in. When I was studying communist tactics and strategy in Moscow, my instructors emphasized the importance of using honest grievances and popular slogans as a smokescreen to cover up the true nature of the revolution.
I mean, this is interesting, the timeline, right? So he's talking about 1935 here.
Correct.
Okay, so the
In
Russian
the year
Revolution.
1966.
So the Russian Revolution was in 1918, 1919.
Mm-hmm.
So 1935 would have been, when the sort of the Bolsheviks, like, really, they consolidated power and it really started sort of getting going. And of course they attack America. Like,
well, and of course they try and act like McCarthyism was a thing, and there was a Red Scare. Meanwhile, they're shipping blacks to Moscow in the early 30s to train them and then sending them back. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Like, they're just taking blacks over to Moscow and being like, oh yeah, here's how, like, you undermine your own government, because after you burn everything down, you get to rule over the ashes. Well, that's been a smashing success.
I forget what the black guy's name is, but there was another black revolutionary who was like, fuck it, I'll just live in Moscow. And then he was talking to black Americans from a Moscow radio station that they would tune into, and it just wasn't illegal. Couldn't stop him from doing it. Couldn't do anything.
Shit.
There's nothing we can do. Our hands are tied. We have principles, okay?
Yeah.
We're taught how to use propaganda and arouse the emotion of the masses. We learn how to set one group against the other and to make them hate each other. We learn the necessity of having martyrs, and we were even told how to create our own martyrs.
So the communists taught him the necessity of having martyrs and how to create their own martyrs. And the Communist Party decided to make this boy a martyr.
The Communist Party headquarters decided to make a martyr out of the boy.
So that's why you'll see in modern times, and here, when a black person is killed by police, they hop on it and apply their narrative to it. I mean, this has been happening for a century in the country. But what's going to be historical about this race riot is that sociologists injected Marxism into the analysis of the riot. Can you believe that this biracial commission comprised of intellectual titans interpreting this situation as unbiasedly as possible?
So Mayor LaGuardia was like, I gotta set up a biracial commission of people to figure out what happened with these race riots. They were so crazy. We need to get, like, it's literally the CRS. That's what they would do. Facilitate conversations and programs and groups in a commission. So there was this biracial commission where one of the guys was a socialist. It's exactly what you would think of people that would be sociologists, people that are just primed to view things in terms of these people's needs aren't being met.
Yeah. Dude. Oh yeah. And the industrial workers of the world. So that was one of the really early Marxist groups, the IWW. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's who's on the commission.
That the riot was not caused by communist agitators, as some had speculated. It was caused by the frustration due to conditions
Can you believe
of
that?
economic deprivation.
Yeah,
Can you believe that he found it wasn't caused by communist agitators? Can you believe that the communists thought that?
No, man, it was caused by material conditions. Well, how do you alleviate those material conditions? Oh, well, you need a revolution. You need to seize the means of production and progress from capitalism into communism, right? It's the only way, Yeah,
but like I'm pretty sure there's like gang violence that's tied with the government of Mexico that's less brazenly corrupt than what I'm showing you. Like, this is so, like, historically, we all know what's going on. We all know about the Fabian Society. We all know all of these examples. And then anyone gets into power that's slightly on the right, and they're like, I'm not fucking touching that thing with a 10-foot pole. God knows what they say to them behind closed doors, dude.
Yeah. And
such a Leviathan.
This has pushed the entire Western world, like, right to the edge.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, it's insane what's happened to America. If you look back, to how it was before World War II, it's just been basically one tragedy after another. We really need to bring back McCarthyism, right? Like we need like a proper communist purge. Like fuck these people, my God.
But I feel like with people like me and you build a resentment because how much fucking time and energy do you spend getting so many receipts to prove that what you're saying is true when they could just lie and everyone just automatically accepts it? Do you know the work that I did to cross-reference all of this? It doesn't even have 1,000 views, dude. It's psychotic. Sometimes I think to myself, why even get all these receipts to do it? Do you ever have that thought to yourself?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
what's the point?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why I do live streams, because
right,
you know, you put all of this like effort into making like a video essay, and it gets shit views, and it's the amount of work that goes
it's
in
correcting
like,
history,
yeah,
which is very important.
yeah, it's insane. Like my God. Oh, and then the leftists, they do that thing, like you've seen that tweet by Millennial Woes where like he's like most of the conversation with leftists is them just pretending that they don't understand what you mean so that you can't have a meaningful conversation with them. They've just been doing that over, like, oh, I don't even understand what a white person is. I don't understand what a black person is. Like, you know, I don't understand what a woman is. You know, I don't understand what crime is. You're like,
but they're not embarrassed and they don't feel shame because they have a fucking hydra behind them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's also a very mooish tactic. And I think these tactics have sort of percolated through society as people realized how effective they were.
The access to information, and there's just certain people. God bless Nick Fuentes. I'm gonna have to commend him when I show his video where he's just been on message. And of course he's gonna be very flawed. Of course he's gonna contradict himself. Of course he's gonna lie. Of course he's gonna say things that are blatantly untrue. Do you know how pissed I would be if I was fighting the moose for a decade and getting nowhere? Like, yeah, he has scorn. Yeah, and he shoots wild. I would too. But I was too much of a pussy to do anything. I would see things and I was like, you know what? Never mind. And I fucking backed down. So, you know, you got to commend the fellas that have been out there on the fucking front lines.
But also like, Fuentes started really young.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
He started doing
18.
this like in his
17.
like early 20s or like really, really young.
17.
Like, 17. My
18.
God, man.
I mean, he wasn't the same as he is now, but it'll change the man, you know?
Yeah, that boy has seen some shit.
Right?
He's got that like 20-yard stare.
Right?
On,
definitely seen the inside of his friend's asshole too, you know?
Yeah, I've seen cat boys you people wouldn't believe. Dildos off the shoulders of Orion. Nipple clamps glittering off the 10-houser gate.
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart. We love you, Nick. Yeah.
Racial discrimination, and an unresponsive city government. That's why it happened. Next on the commission, we have a poet by the name of County Cullen. County Cullen was an American poet, novelist, children's writer, and playwright, particularly well known during the Harlem Renaissance. Odd? What is this guy doing on a commission to determine why these race riots happened in 1935? Are you ready? Cullen married Yolanda Du Bois. She was the surviving child of W.E.B. Du Bois. Who's W.E.B. Du Bois?
W.E.B. Du Bois is a towering figure in Black intellectual history. And oftentimes people will pit Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois against one another. Up from slavery, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, the souls of black folks.
Pause it. So one is
Booker
about
T.
being
Washington.
industrious, and one is about owning their souls. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and W.E. Du Bois, Du Bois was like a massive proto-communist. Like he was essentially, in a sense, like the founder of American black race communism.
Actual Uncle Tom.
Yeah,
Just
like
tell all of
actual,
his
like
people
well,
out.
not he'd be like a Uncle Vanya, because it wasn't the whites. He was like really, or I don't know, an Uncle Levy or something, you know, because he was, you know, over in Paris, he was over in Russia. Yeah. He went all over the places, and he was like the start of like a lot of this stuff that got really crazy. Like he was, I don't know if he ever met, but he met Frantz Fanon. He was a big like sort of inspiration. You know who Frantz Fanon is?
Very familiar. I would know if I saw Wikipedia.
Sorry?
I'm very familiar. It sounds familiar. I would know if I saw the Wikipedia. I know.
So Frantz Fanon it was like the sort of African version of that. I remember we covered him in university, and he's literally got this book where he's just like, there are no good white people. We need to kill them all. And they're reading
one of those guys.
And they're reading this in class. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Right? Like, you know, isn't
a level
this
of gaslighting? Strong?
And they're like, the teacher's like, oh no, you got to understand, you know, he was trying to overthrow the English in Africa. I'm like, this is completely inappropriate. You wouldn't countenance this kind of language against any other racial group. And they're just like,
you were noticing. Points off for noticing. I bet it's
like, oh, look at the angry white dude, you know, just because we're like reading a text that basically says your entire like race should be exterminated. Who's a sensitive boy?
Yeah, dude, the level of antagonization. Can we just give white people a round of applause? The fact that we haven't just gone on a mass murdering spree. We really are just an unbelievably. That's why I said how civil rights act. They have been wanting us to enact in so much violence that they still cry about Charlottesville from 2017. They are dry.
Yeah.
They want it to be so much more. They have to make studies by Moose who, the ADL, Greenblatt, and the CSIS, the Pritzker family, right off the bat right there, are two huge offenders of these right-wing extremism studies. And then they had to lump in like prison fights and isolated incidents, non-ideologically motivated crimes. One of these days, we should go through the studies. They're actually hilarious with the details that are in some of them. But yeah, they had to go through all of this rationalization to try and scrape the bottom of the barrel as to how white people are so violent, and it's pathetic. It's so pathetic at this point.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And like you were saying, they just it's like they managed to suppress white backlash so effectively that they didn't even have anything to fight against. And so then they have to take stuff like Charlottesville and be like, oh, one person died. Like, oh my God, like, you know, we better write like 1,000 papers on it. And so, oh God, it's so tiresome, bros. So fucking tiresome.
Tuskegee Institute. W.B. Du Bois, the NAACP.
The NAACP collects billions of dollars to racial incitement. They go out of their way to create race issues, because the more race issues they create, the more they've got an appeal for begging for funds. But what do they do with that money? They do not spend one single cent.
You pause it.
To build any factories.
Yeah. You really have to respect the black people that can break out of this.
Oh yeah,
it literally is a global conspiracy to make them just a toxic piece of shit, and to break out of that, like that there's a part of it that has to be genetic, because I feel like a lot of us might be black sheep in our family to come to this point.
I'm just looking at this picture, right? Even though like there's only half a face, I'm like, can we get a physiognomy check on that dude?
You're hunting. Like, you're always on the hunt. How do you like the mustache man in the middle there?
Black mustache man.
Who was in style there, huh? A little toothbrush going on.
Oh my God. He reminds me of Saeed Qutb. I don't know if you know who Saeed Qutb is. He was was one of the founders of the Muslim Brotherhood. And he came over from Egypt as a teacher to teach in Greeley, Indiana. And he was like just this like little sort of like brown Egyptian dude with like a little Hitler mustache. And he wrote this book called The America I Have Seen. And, you know, he just spent all of this time like ranting about like how much he hated that Americans cared about their lawns. And, you know, none of the white girls would like talk to him. And he went to like the school prom, and they played like Baby It's Cold Outside, and the boys and the girls danced together, and he was like, oh my God, this is like so horrible, blah, 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 blah. And then he went on to try and overthrow the government of Egypt, got thrown in prison, tortured, and then started Al Qaeda. It's such we should do like Syed Qutb if we run out of like stuff to cover. It's a crazy freaking story, man. Like just this crazy little Egyptian dude is like, I hate Americans so much. I hate them. I hate them. You know, they're nice green lawns and like pretty white women, and they're like ballroom music. Right. Oh, we got super chat.
Yep.
The agile walrus. Goodness me, right? You know why he's so agile, right? He's got that fifth leg. He can use to pivot around when he's on the land, right? He's a chat of a walrus for $5 Canadian. Hand rubbing intensifies. I presume that's a throwback to COVID. He's talking about it rubs the lotion on its hand, or it gets the mask again.
Or
right?
It could be the physiognomy check. The hand rubbing intensifies. So if you want, check the Telegram to compliment that very thoughtful super chat. Do a very short detour to one of the best hand rubbings anyone has ever seen, and they did not think it would come from this person. Okay, this was a sleeper. No one predicted this. Whoever bet on this horse won a shitload of money.
I actually think the way that like Cheng looks in this
is even funnier.
Is like way fun. Like you can like see his entire career flash before his eyes.
I don't know. She really puts her fucking heart and soul into it, though. She really. I wouldn't even be able to do it that good, and I'm a very animated person.
Oh my god,
dude! I'm not even kidding. When I first saw this, I didn't laugh. My jaw dropped. I'm not even.
How long has she been saving this up? Right, like, oh mate. Okay, we've got to play it. If you guys haven't seen this, this is crazy.
Like, yes, we're going to surveil everybody. Everyone will be on their best behavior. Yes, you're a freak. You're a total creep.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Dude, that okay is like enough horsing around. He was so uncomfortable. Okay.
look at Jack. He's just like...
like if you made a joke about like a dead mom or something and my mom had died, I might go like, okay. It's that kind of okay where a line has been not crossed but decimated.
Can
look at her right now.
Can we play that again? I gotta play that again.
Like, yes, we're going to surveil everybody. Everyone will be on their best behavior. Yes, you're a freak. You're a total creep.
Okay.
Go to the beginning of it when she starts it. Go to the beginning of it again. Look at yes. Yeah. That's a few. Scroll back.
Yeah, literally.
Now the eyes open as she's going in. Losing that second house. Yeah. So scroll to the beginning. He has two houses. Down to one house. I'm gonna be homeless soon. I gotta hop in with an okay or something.
Cenk is getting the call tonight.
Avi, I know. Don't say anything.
They'll
be
like
back in time.
They'll be like, Cenk, right? You can talk about horse cocks all you want, okay? But like, don't you say bad shit about Larry Ellison, you know? Oh my god.
That's another person Nick Fuentes is gonna come. You guys are doing so much foreshadowing.
I just sort of scroll back and forward on this.
And I keep looking at both of them. Like, I did this. I looked at him when I played it for a minute, for 10 seconds. Then I looked at her, and I would just play it and look at each one. I wish my eyeballs could divide and look at both of them at the same time.
Soul on the Lich is like, can you please make this into a sticker?
Oh, wow.
Totally
oh my fucking god, dude. Because yeah, that's actually a good idea because I'm thinking of like how many different moves can I do? Okay, I need. Here's what I want. I want to have so many different moo emojis that I can ask you guys for a wall of moos during a really huge moo moment, and it just pours in.
Hubbleson is Cenk wished he had his nephew's shock collar there.
Dude. Oh my god.
Anna, get back to your pad. Get back to your pad.
She yelped. She hit her knee on the desk.
Oh, holy shit, dude. Oh my god.
Okay.
Right. Okay, back to the serious shit now.
We'll be able to moo down in just a moment with some Fuentes action.
Okay. Oh yeah, we got about 2 minutes left of this. Okay.
Yeah.
Or shops to create jobs, or to contribute to the development of free enterprise in our country. You're not interested in that.
They wanted to be the head of black people. W. Du Bois was a traitor. He was an enemy of black people and America. A socialist. A communist.
Hung out with Mao. Here's him with Mao.
Jesus fuck. Oh yeah, I'm just hanging out with Mao. Fuck.
I just love how, like, on this biracial commission, there's like a sociologist, there's a socialist, different kinds of people, and then a poet. Why is the poet here? Oh, he's married to W.E.B. Du Bois' daughter. Oh, bring him in. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, awesome. That was his qualification as being. That's how biracial and objective this commission was.
It was Mary White Ovington and other white socialists who started the NAACP.
Wink, wink.
White socialists who sought to use black Americans to carry out their...
I mean, were they white socialists or fellow white socialists? Just saying.
I'm pretty sure it was 20 to 25% moo. I think it might have been one or two out of 5 founding members, but then there's co-founding members, and here's what it is. It was 1 out of 5 founding members. However, the funding that's where your udders start getting a little spew heavy, okay?
Right.
That's where you find them.
Right. It's all about the purse strings, right?
Socialist agenda.
So let's recap. A Puerto Rican black 16-year-old kid tried to steal a knife. The police came. The kid gave the police a wrong address and was let go. Communists decided to make a martyr out of the boy.
Communist Party headquarters decided to make a martyr out of the boy.
And spread lies and misleading propaganda from below. Above, a commission was set up by the mayor to investigate this riot. Despite the fact that millions in property damage happened, white businesses and white people were targeted, it was synthesized into a modern race riot because the communists at the helm deemed the riot to be against white property and not white people. This is the moment our nation gave the green light to the intellectualization of violence as long as it met the Marxist requirement of oppressor versus oppressed, and capitalism. Violence isn't the problem. Violence can be mitigated. What began in 1935 was the rationalization and righteous justification of this type of violence. This was based on a lie, and conditioned the public to develop a personal truth from this lie.
So
Man,
that was
that's
in
a great video. Like,
that was
for real.
Yeah, that was in 1935, and so then what did we see? More and more of these incidents happening over the next 30 years, leading up to the Civil Rights Act, which then created the CRS, which then takes us to 2025, which was just disbanded. Yay, it's disbanded! Yay, it's over! And we don't know any of the history at all whatsoever, so it's just going to happen again. Whee! Hey, liberal democracy. Once the other team gets voted back in and just puts it right back in. You guys ready for that?
Oh my god. Yeah, there'll probably be some like horrible thing happen, and they'll be like, you know why this happened? Because you disbanded the CRS. Like, oh my god.
Right.
If the Democrats ever get back in power, it'll be the first thing they do is like reconstitute it.
Now is the moment that Fist has been waiting for, okay? Now we get to really J down with Nick Fuentes, all right? So Dave Smith talked to Nick Fuentes, and it was like a 3.5-hour conversation. They spent a lot of time, in the beginning agreeing on stuff. And then, Dave is a moo, ethnicity-wise, not by, he's a libertarian, and I believe he's Christian. I'm not 100% sure, though.
I mean, I like Dave. He seems.
I don't hate him. like the crazy Lindsay hates try and hate him and all the moos.
I mean, Lindsay freaking hates him, man. My God,
He had to because of the Douglas Murray thing. That's where it started.
Oh, that's right. Have you even been? Yeah. Oh, did you hear that scandal? Right. It turns out Douglas Murray was literally writing speeches for fucking Netanyahu and for the Israeli ambassador.
No.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah. He was getting paid. A bunch of like these emails like leaked, and it's basically him sending like scripts back and forth, being like, you know, oh, we could say this or we could say that, right? Like, oh my God, he's so compromised. It's not even funny. Oh my God. So no wonder they got him on Joe Rogan with Dave Smith. They're probably like, oh, we'll nip this in the bud. We'll just shame Joe Rogan like down to the ground. And then I don't know if Joe was like, oh, you know, I don't know too much about this stuff. I better get like Dave on. They were clearly anticipating it would just be Murray versus Rogan.
Right. But here's the weird thing that keeps happening with Zionists. And I mean, when I first made that, this sent me on my path that I'm on right now, because that's when I saw all of these Zionists and Israelis in the comments acting just like leftists. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Like what, like clearly Douglas Murray did a bad job in that because he didn't engage. He obviously just used what I thought were leftist tactics. And I really feel like that was a line in the sand. But what I don't understand is like, the moos are so full of themselves that they're just like, yeah, just go in there and just shut down conversation and refuse to engage. It'll be fine. And then everyone gives backlash and they're like, oh, good, backlash. Yeah, we'll just say it's anti-Semitic. Like, but it's so obvious to most people.
Yeah. But what's happening now is that all of these tactics are yielding diminishing returns. So the basic plan has always been, don't ever answer the fundamental question, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fundamental question that never wants to be asked is, has Jewish immigration been good for America? That's the real question, right? The unaskable question. You're not allowed to ask that. You do not want a sober evaluation of the effect, right, that this has had on American society. You know, you might come to the wrong conclusion. So instead, they don't answer. They just like smear. They do guilt by association, all this kind of like other stuff. But now, because of what's happened, just they're being forced to actually engage with the conversation. You see this with Lindsay. Lindsay has inherited the entire suite of these argumentative techniques, basically, right? Like he downloaded.
You couldn't have said it any better,
right? And now that's why he doesn't engage with the point. You don't debate your opponents. But now, because of YouTube and because of a whole bunch of other stuff, these tactics are not only yielding diminishing returns, but in a lot of cases, they're actually making their position worse. And I don't know what the next pivot is going to. Actually, I kind of already do know what the next pivot is going to be.
I really want you to focus on Nick Fuentes' rhetoric. Okay, now this is a friendly conversation. So he's going to give pushback and whatnot. He'll make some concessions. He's going to be reasonable. But I feel like, especially toward the end, he's unbelievably descriptively Schmittian with what he is saying. It's very Schmitty.
Yes. Okay, let's go.
Also, I just got to piss for like a minute, so I'll be right back. Okay.
Do we start the clip then, or should I just like?
Yeah, just start it. Riff. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. We are coming at it from different places. You believe it's the neocons, and it's in particular the War Party and Israel, and how those interact. And me, as an identitarian, I do look at the world through an identity-based lens, that you've got whites, blacks, Jews, and they all have political interest. They all identify as these groups. They group up based on them, and then those groups have conflicting interests. That's what politics has become, is like meeting out those interests. Like, is it in the interest of white people to go to war in Iraq? No, but for Jews, yes, because they have this connection to Israel. But I do believe that you clearly take the more moderate position, or even I would say the more liberal position. As a libertarian, you're like a lowercase l liberal in the sense that you think that it's, like you said, it's not Jews in themselves or Jewish identity in itself. It is particular people in power, in particularly the state, that are doing these violent policies, whereas me, it is maybe a more radical rejection of liberalism. And I think that, you know, maybe you're informed by your Jewish identity, or you're just ideologically believe that. But I think there's a fine line between that and saying that it is a bigger issue than the neocons, because, when it comes to these influential Jews, like Larry Ellison, let's say, he's not religious, but he's tight with Netanyahu. Jeffrey Epstein was tight with the left in Israel. And to the extent that you're right, Jews were the biggest critics of the Iraq war, in many cases, yeah, there's liberal Jews, but they're liberal because that's a strategy for Jews to succeed. They have these debates. What is best for the Jews? And like Brett Stevens at the New York Times, he mentored Barry Weiss. He says, Trump,
God, I hate him so much.
And he sucks, He's a neocon, case in point.
Yeah, I got in a big fight with him on Gutfeld's show years ago. He was such a smarmy prick. Anyway, whatever. But God,
smarmy prick. Typical neocon behaviors, right?
I mean, look, this is one of the things I actually really admire about the Moose. They are ruthlessly ethnocentric, right? They take care of their own, and I think the whites could learn a lot from them. Like, quite frankly, to have more
learn from them, but we've been discouraged. Like restricted from doing so intentionally.
Absolutely. Everyone else but us gets to have an ethnic identity. Everyone but us gets to organize for what would be better for us as a people, for group interests. When it comes to those people, yes, they do have group interests. When it comes to whites, you only have individual interests. You're not allowed to organize in any way, because if you do, mustache man.
Well, for some reason, like with whites, you are supposed to leave when you're 18 and go. So multi-generational households is I envy that so much. Yeah. In other ethnicities, it's the family stays in the house, and then you buy the house next door, and then a multi-generational household, because then your grandmother can babysit the kids, and then also there's someone to take care of the grandmother. Everything stays in the house. You don't have to outsource any of this because of it's a community of people that are living there. That makes the most sense. We've, for some reason, are just take, my parents were just it's just what you do. You just go and I'll just figure it out. It's that was really it. There wasn't a communal aspect or a philosophy
You're 18 now. Get the fuck out. Get away from us.
What the fuck?
We got to go on a cruise or something. Yeah, I know.
Well, it's not their fault. That's just what they were programmed to do.
Yep.
So he says in 16 or 17, he goes, Trump is bad for the, because he is opposing the liberal values that have been so good to us as Jews. Here's how I would characterize the issue, because I hear that a lot, that the Zionists and the anti-Semites are sort of in the self-reinforcing loop. And I would say that how I would characterize the problem is that, in some sense, Jews are rational. The neocons are rational, because what they're saying is that there's kind of two answers to the question from the Jews, which is we need to return to the land, because only when we have another kingdom will we have sovereignty and be able to protect ourselves. There's another answer to the question, which is if we push liberal universalism, everyone will tolerate us. If we push religious tolerance and racial tolerance, then people see us as themselves or the greatest among the nations. These are two strategies, and they're both rational, because by the way, there was anti-Semitism in Nazi Germany. Maybe that's I got the call to say that, but it's true.
Nick gets
how good of a lie is
that for that tweet? Yeah, I know. What an amazing historical analysis there. Yeah, I know, crazy.
You got the call.
I think that's
the way things are.
Is that a controversial thing? For
Might be. I don't know.
Not even the Holocaust, just anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
They weren't so fond of him. That's for sure. Yes.
But it's in Germany, but also in Russia, but also in America. There are quotas in the universities. Emerging from that time, it is, like we say, the world's made up of races. They have these interests. It's in the Jewish interest to do these things. So Soros takes up the cause of the Open Society Foundation. And Open Society is based on this philosophical premise, I think from Bertrand Russell, which says we have tolerance.
So Open Society Foundation, when in that CBS article, there was a guy named Brett Berenstein or something that, who left the CRS to be the CEO of the Open Secrets Foundation.
And
Open Secrets, the thing that tells everybody how much money everybody has, he's in charge of that.
It's not Bertrand Russell. I'm pretty sure he's thinking of Karl Popper, but you know, like
okay, yeah,
and openness and egalitarianism. And the Likud party, or, you know, the Haganah, the security element in Israel, they work to get power. And they say that to make the world safe for the Jews, we need Israel. To make Israel safe, we need control over everything west of the river. To do that, we need to destroy all our enemies in the region. Like, there is a rational chain of law. When they say Israel has a right to exist, they mean we can't exist if we're staring down the barrel of 10 countries that hate us. There's a logic there. And I would say that in some sense, that's a legitimate way to think. It's a legitimate interest. But I distinguish myself as a white person, as someone from Christendom, as an American. And I'm looking to disentangle the Jewish interest from the American interest and say that, you know, when you say it's bad to say Hitler had aura, I disagree.
I'm not saying necessarily.
Pause it. When he slid that in, you know, you think it's bad for me to say Hitler had aura. How smooth was that, dude? How does he not get pussy? That was so smooth. all of his rhetoric is not focused on pussy, and everything is devoted to this.
Yeah,
every portion of his brain is just this.
He's like just the incel autist, right? You know, he doesn't have time for women. He's too busy trying to
being smooth,
you know.
I have to say that I'm saying that you understand that, like, that is going to be something that might make a lot of people go, oh yeah, I don't want to deal with that guy.
But here's where I would push back in a sense is, you know, as a white person, like, why is it that the Holocaust is so toxic? It's because, you know, sort of made it that way. Like, we don't look at the Holodomor the same way. We don't look at China. And you know all these arguments.
I think that's a totally legitimate argument. It's something I've been saying for years, too. I think that the idea that Jews have a monopoly on World War II is like insane. And or that anybody should, you know, like prioritize past Jewish suffering over other sufferings. I mean, like, yeah, it's a horrible thing happened, you know, but
can I just
sure, go ahead.
So when I look at like Larry Fink, Bill Ackman, David and Larry Ellison, I look at them as part of a corporate entity. Like, they're not individuals that happen to be Jewish. They are the Jews. They're organized. They work together. And as an American, I basically want to take power from them and give it back to Americans. And that necessarily is going to make them weaker and more vulnerable as a community. And, you know, so when they say that's anti-Semitic, it's like, of course, everything that's taking power from them to give it to us is going to inherently, like, bolster the narrative that they're becoming more vulnerable. But it's a necessary part of getting power.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's say, for example, like Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is second richest guy in the world. They're buying the media. Him and his son are buying TikTok. They're buying CBS. Who does he put in charge of CBS? Bari Weiss. Bari Weiss was helped by Hazony and Brett Stevens. It's like, that very clearly is a Jewish club. And they're cutting through society. And yeah, they run in other elite circles. And yeah, they have their accomplices that are not Jewish. Even, you know, look at the Trump administration. Trump brokered that deal. He's a Gentile. But he got money from Miriam Adelson. And his grandchildren are Jewish because his son-in-law is Jewish. And it's like, it's almost like that exception doesn't prove the rule. And you're right about the Vulcans, you know, Condi and Bush and all them, they're Gentiles too. But it's like, it seems that society is always being pushed by this organized minority. Because you're right, there are Rawlsian liberals that are white, and there are, you know, evangelical Christians that are white that are neocons. But it just seems like because by definition, they're organized in a way that nobody else is. Like, Bush is not organized as a white guy or even very much as a Christian. But you do have like a World Zionist Congress. You do have a World Jewish Congress. You have the, you know, Conference of Major American Jewish Organizations. I don't even think people realize the extent to which Jews are organized in community centers by Chabad, in university with their fraternities, and in business, and in their localities. It's like, they're extremely organized. And as far as the average Jew is concerned, yeah, they're not running the banks. I don't think your average Jew is like a spy. But I do think that your average Jew is inherently distrusting of like patriotism and nationalism. It's like,
I mean, this is straight. I think it's Pareto. The organized minority will always rule the disorganized majority. That's what this is. And I really think that a lot of what people call fascism is just an organized majority. It's when the majority gets organized. That's one of the reasons why it has these sort of militaristic characteristics, because to organize a majority, you need some kind of at least quasi-military structure to do it. And that's what any organized minority ruling over a disorganized majority fears, that majority becoming organized just by definition.
Yeah.
Like
the way he says it is so plain and easy to understand.
Yeah.
Like a middle schooler could listen to him and go, "Oh, that's sensible." Like nothing he's saying even sounds contentious. It intuitively makes sense.
So someone in the chat is like, we don't have to censor that word. This interview is up on Dave Smith's YouTube. Okay, interesting.
That's no. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. A larger channel will not get banned compared to a smaller channel in a lot of situations. So I mean, I got it from YouTube, right? But my James Lindsay video got taken down because I said the word once. So I'm very careful to do that, especially in the context of Nick Fuentes just saying it repeatedly. But I'll see that often. If you guys know Actual Justice Warrior, he'll play the same clips that that larger channels play, but his account will get flagged.
So fact check. That was actually Mosca, not Pareto. Thank you very much, Porch Time.
Wow.
I always get Pareto and Mosca confused because they're,
really, really not bad for just a knuckle dragging racist hillbilly audience, right wing audience.
Man, our chat
Really
is fucking awesome, man. Like
it's
seriously,
insane.
it's really, really good. Okay, let's keep going.
Silverman said when she saw her white boyfriend put a American flagpole on her lawn, she said it reminded her of Hitler. How many is that attitude prevalent? If my movement wants to have power and really put America first, it means we are going to have to sideline, by definition, Jews that put the Jewish nation first.
Yeah, well, I think and Christians too, for that matter. I mean, like,
I disagree. I think America's
well,
a
I'm saying
country.
Christians. I'm saying Christians who put Israel first.
Oh,
for that matter,
yeah,
too.
for
So I'm
sure.
saying, which there are plenty of.
Sure.
And look, it's a huge part of this, because you talk about the like kind of organization, but I think that's very true for evangelical Christians who are constantly having preachers, tell them that like this is your duty, is to have this political outlook. I mean, there's tens of millions of them in the country, and like, look, you can always say, well, that's the Jews manipulating them, but again, it just seems like this is presuming the conclusion. It's like,
are we not being manipulated though in that way?
Of course. No, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying it's not just Jews at the top of doing the manipulation.
And I agree, but that's where I have to.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, if you subvert a structure like Christianity, it gives you incredible control over a mass of people. Look at what's happened to the Catholic Church. Look what's happened to the Anglican Church. If you compromise an archbishop, if you compromise the Pope, you basically gain control over everything under it until the entire thing falls apart, which is what is about to happen to the Anglican Church, by the way, because they just appointed a female Archbishop of Canterbury. And now half the Anglican Church is going to leave. I was talking to my priest today, and he was basically saying that there are entire churches with their clergy that are just going to come over to Orthodoxy. And I imagine probably like Catholicism as well, although Catholicism's a bit more dicey. And they don't care that they're ruining.
Orthodox Christianity seems to be the America of Christianity because it's like decentralized. It's like federalist.
Yes. And that is honestly one of its great strengths, because you can't suborn all the Orthodox churches at once. It's just too hard. It's much more decentralized, and there's a lot less levers you can use. Like, one of the things about Orthodox Christianity is it's got a much more realistic view of human nature than the Catholic.
That's a recurring theme when I talk to you about religion that you keep emphasizing to me.
Yeah, well, I think that religions that have an unrealistic view of human nature wind up being inherently manipulative, because if you try and impose upon your flock an unrealistic expectation, like something that they can't keep, like Catholic priests, for example, they're meant to be celibate, they can't marry. Orthodox priests can marry.
Okay.
So you're
wow, that saves the trouble of fucking little boys, huh?
Correct. You're just creating an opportunity for stuff to be messed up, and a lever that you can use to control these people. That's why you've got so many fags in the Catholic priesthood. I mean,
right.
So I actually think that a realistic view of human nature is actually a critical part of a good religion. Otherwise, you just wind up giving people sort of weird psychological problems, and those can be exploited.
Come in as a Christian white American and say we have to disentangle these things and say, and yeah, wake up the evangelicals and say, look, this is not, you're American, you're Christian. They are not Christian. They are not American. It is not in our interest. We have to take our own side.
I think that there's the perhaps because you're Christian and I'm Jewish, but when you go,
hold on, pause it real quick. Is that the whitest thing you've ever heard? We have to take our own side. That is the whitest thing you can possibly say. Nobody else has to say that.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, it is. It's totally insane. Everybody else gets to have their own side, their own group interest, whether it's a nation or a people, or religion. The amount of cringe that has been put into whites to basically be like, oh, like standing up for yourself, having any kind of group interest, like, oh, ew, cringe, like, oh, we don't want to do that.
Not even just that. Culturally, though, like my family parties are so fucking boring. They're so white people are so boring. But that's the thing. It's just I'd never had like a belief system throughout my family. It's not like really religious. They don't really like believe in anything.
Yeah.
And it's not replaced with anything, and they don't want anything to really change or be different, and it's just nothing. Oh my god, it's maddening.
Yeah, and it's truly like the end point. If you believe in nothing, you'll fall for anything. I believe is the because what is it? A man without an essence will be occupied by like a foreign force or something. Oh, there's a great phrase that I totally butchered.
Chat, help this man.
Yeah,
please.
Soul without essence is like, but basically, right? Like if you've got an empty head, something will come and occupy that head. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Although not Catholics like yourself, you go, well, we got to wake them up and make them realize that. And I feel the same way about Jews in general. It's like, we got to wake them up and be like, yo, you're not about to be Holocausted, and you don't need to support this in order to avoid one. And that's much tougher to do when everybody on Twitter is saying the Holocaust never happened, but if it did, it was good and it should happen again or something like that. So that would be that. Let's do.
Yeah. That's a good clip.
So that just really. It was just so like that. That's how scary Nick Fuentes is. Sure, he says edgy things, but that is what they do not want you to hear. And he just said it in front of a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's to me, that's just going to be that's just a huge moment for addressing this issue, to put it politely.
I mean, they want to foreground spokesmen who are idiots, so they can be like, herder, like, look at that knuckle dragging idiot. Fuentes is none of those things. It's insane, like how well put together and articulate he is. I'm actually honestly surprised that he hasn't had an unexpected kinetic event yet. I mean, there was that dude who came over to his house and tried to
well, that's because he said, what did he say about women? That they isn't that what did it? It was like something about women consenting or not consenting. I forget what he said.
My body, my choice. Wyatt's torch for the win. A body without a presence, a body without an essence will be occupied by an essence without a body, basically.
Wow. Our cavemen in the chat are so smart. It's incredible.
Yeah, man, we have the best chat. We have the best chat. I don't say that. Other people say that. Well, it's a great chat. One of the best.
The reason why I keep emphasizing right wing is because they want the typical normie to be afraid of the word right wing, because that just subtly means far right in the American or Western consciousness. And I just am not meeting those people. I'm still trying to find them.
I mean,
I'm pushing myself to be right wing, and I'm saying right wing, and I don't see it. I don't see where they are.
They have caned that shit like to its absolute limit. I keep thinking thinking about antibiotic resistance. Right. So you know what antibiotic resistance is, right?
Yeah.
You find a new antibiotic, it works like really, really great on this disease. It kills like, all these bacteria, and you use it and you use it and you use it. And then sooner or later, a bacteria will develop a resistance to it. And your antibiotic, it won't work anymore. And then you've got to start rationing how you use it. Because if you just keep using it everywhere, you'll get this sudden explosion of drug-resistant bacteria. And this is basically what's been happening to, a racism, a Nazi, a misogynist. They just, it's like they just went and like just sprayed Roundup over everyone. They just killed everything dead. And they just went through the field, and like any little, tiny sprig that chewed up, they're like, kill that guy, kill that mother, take his bank account, right? Destroy his family, take right. And now immunity has been gained because it was not used sparingly.
Right.
Rhetorical devices like these, shit that powerful, they have got to be used sparingly and intelligently. And I honestly think that the crop of moves that they have now, they've gotten too cocky. You wouldn't have seen Henry Kissinger.
You mean like a guy writing America's Peacemakers?
Well, yeah, but like you just like if you there are no more Kissingers. Like that that generation has died. And I'm pretty sure that Kissinger, if he had been around, if he was still around, he would have been saying to people like Netanyahu, no, you're pushing this too far. Like you can't push it this far. But then again, I don't know, maybe it's just the evolution of the internet as well. It comes down to that question: does history have its own force? Can you reduce everything in sort of mass moments or historical things to like just the action of people? Or is there, a sort of a zeitgeist is what they would have called it.
Right.
Back in
culture struggle, right?
in Germany, right? Zeitgeist literally means the ghost of the time. So Zeit is time. Geist means, or spirit, the spirit of the time, the spirit of the ages. And it just does seem that there's certain movements or attitudes that just come around into fashion, and they can't really be resisted no matter how much you try. It is just one of those things, ideas. So
I think there's an unspoken collective consciousness that forms when something is repressed and people know it whether or not they know it. And then it's almost like a marker. So, something, an event happens and it activates something laying dormant in a lot of people's brains. Now, this can be used to manufacture things, but it also happens organically, if that makes sense.
But also,
so you can prime people with that, or it can just be the natural collection of those thoughts and ideas.
But also the paradoxes begin to become just too huge to ignore. Right? So you're supposed
Band-Aid off, dude.
Yeah, you're supposed to not notice this group that has no power, like at all, right? They're just completely harmless. They never did anything. At the same time, they are just insanely powerful to the point where if you put a foot wrong, they will like just nuke you from orbit.
No, to the part where they can do things and you're not allowed to see it.
Yeah.
It's that real quick. Aramaic discourse. Welcome to Hard R Fellers. Welcome, says Nick Nelson. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Nice. So I think it's going to be really interesting. Now, there is something I just want to end on. Wait, where is it? I've got it in my show notes. So what is going to happen sort of in the next sort of iteration? Well, Israel is using geotagging to target Christians with propaganda. A FARA statement just got released that basically in a bunch of US states, there will be targeted advertising at specifically Baptists and evangelical churches in the southern western United States, so that when you come out of church at specific time, you will get pro-Israeli messaging. And they had to register this because this is a FARA thing.
What the fuck?
Yep. And as if that wasn't enough, there is also a plan to take the October 7th atrocity exhibition on the road. It will be literally
show on the road.
It will be a virtual tour, right? The 10/7 experience, okay? And basically they'll hook you up to like VR goggles, and you will get like the full 3D experience of the Nova massacre. So this is what's going to be coming next, right? The 10/7
So
experience.
where do you get that experience?
I imagine in schools is what they're going to do, or schools and churches. Okay?
Such a shame, because I would love to put that on and just be screaming, laughing the entire time. Is that illegal?
I'm not sure this is going to work the way they think it's going to work, for that exact reason that you were talking about. A lot of these sort of kind of like mass formation movements, they really require that no one break character, right? That no one start laughing, right? If one person starts laughing in a classroom of 30 people, it queers the experience for everybody, right? So you've got, unless you like ruthlessly make sure that there's no jokey little fuckers.
Well, here's the
room.
thing.
But then how many jokey little fuckers have you got?
Well, that's the
what
thing.
If 50% of the school is jokey little fuckers?
So before the internet, meta narratives were a lot easier on people, but now there's like meta irony on top of meta irony, and people are just very used to levels of irony from the internet that just haven't been around before. Like to the point where it's almost unrealistic. People just live their lives on the internet, and the internet is just meta. It doesn't really exist in the real world. It's something that you're thinking, and it's representations of ideas and whatnot. It's symbology, there's memes and whatnot. So people are just primed to like see through these things more than ever before in human history, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I think the sort of just suffusion of propaganda, and also just the way the internet works, the immediacy, right? Like, okay, like you're all chat, like you're listening to me and Artie talk, okay? But we're not like reading from a script. We're just making this shit up as we go along. I mean, sure, you know, we have a series of links, like, you know, I've got a Brave window open, and I've got like all the tabs on, you know, up on the front.
Talking about like, the moves, that's a very Brave window open, okay?
Yeah, right. We you know, we've got some vague idea of what we want to say and how the show is going to progress, but it's not scripted. And I think that people being constantly exposed to this kind of content, it makes them like very, very aware when something is scripted. And they like, if you've seen like what happens when the youngins get exposed to like network news, like old school network news, you know, with the desk and they're just like, brother, like, you know, like, what's that, brother? Like, they just, you know, it's because it lacks the immediacy. You know, you've got the desk between them and the viewer, and this idea that it's a professional person speaking to you. They don't want that. They're used to TikTok, where it's just like some dude, you know. So this 10/7 experience, right? They're gonna have a trailer. Right, I presume it'll be like a semi-trailer. So it's got to be mobile, obviously, so they can take it around to schools and churches.
This is fucking hilarious, dude.
And you'll custom-built trailer by professional Hollywood set designers, reversible exterior walls to allow for interactive 629 experience by walking into the side of the trailer. So it'll presumably be like a semi-trailer, and it'll open up. Okay.
I know, but like I can just picture just putting that on, and then I just start whipping my dick out and jerking off. I'm like, sorry, it was just so realistic. Immediately I'm just thinking of how to fuck with them. Like that's just intuitively what I'm thinking of. Let alone someone that can see through this and actually has access to
the opposite side. The opposite side has a slide out or stage flooring to invite attendees to come into the trailer from the side. It won't be an invite, right? You will be pressured to come on in, okay? Mounted survive to tell VR experience with interior with seating, mounted generator with wired outlets, exterior display tent allows for crowds to visit without being too cramped, 10/7 sections, information sections with pro-Israel materials, scenes from the Nova Festival and other recognizable 10/7 sites, interior wall-length mounted TV with updated information, pro-Israel media, wrapped with images of Israel or the Western Wall, call to action outside the exhibit using biblical messaging.
Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
So, is there any other atrocities that get this fucking...
No.
No. Dude. No. Hours suffering. There's nothing more mooish. That's why when you see like the George Floyd humiliation ritual, it's so mooish because you will grieve to what we tell you to grieve. And we can do it in front of everybody. And I've been saying this for years now, but narcissists love to get away with things in plain sight. They love to get away with it in front of everybody. And like you don't have this with anything else. And just the hubris of it is what people are starting to really develop a distaste for.
Yep. And I think if they do this, probably the footage they're using will leak. Right, someone will.
Dude,
someone will leak this.
My brain automatically goes to everything that can possibly go wrong because it will. This will not go smoothly.
No, it will not go smoothly. And they're clearly trying to set it up as the second, Holocaust, so they can, do the same kind. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think they. I don't. How can I put this delicately? I don't think enough blood has been spilled in order to,
that's not even an insensitive thing to say, because that's what I'm saying comparatively. And Nick Fuentes touched upon this with the Holocaust is like the ultimate, and then they're trying to do that with this, and it's like, well, there's other atrocities that are much worse that have a larger body count, more vicious, more suffering for extended periods of time. Say what you will, but a quick death is often preferable to prolonged suffering. That's what I'm saying. The hubris of it. Like, you are a villain. You're a cartoon villain. This is a great bad idea.
I have a great clip to finish this off.
Terrific, because I had to start editing.
Where is it? Hang on. I gotta look this up.
No problem.
You know Alex Stein, right?
I think I know the man. He actually had a conversation with Stuttering John, and I clipped it, and it got more views than their original conversation on my channel.
So he did this really, really funny thing where they had like a...
Oh my fucking God, I think I know what you're gonna show.
Yeah, wait, where is it? Fuck, mate, mate, I thought this was like freaking hilarious.
He does not have the mechanic in his body that allows him to feel any shock, embarrassment, or anything, dude. It's insane.
Okay, we're gonna play out with this. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. If you want to get like super chats in and stuff, check this out. It's pretty good.
How bad do you need $7,000?
Bad.
This is a money wall. When you go and you touch this wall, you get $7,000 for every tweet after that you say something positive about this wall. You pray, yes. Pray to the Jewish Lord.
This wall is manly.
Okay, it's okay to be gay, but talk good about the wall.
This wall is my type, man.
Benjamin Netanyahu's gonna see this, dude. Say something smart.
Benjamin Netanyahu has nothing on this wall. Very, very good foundation. You see some of the cracks.
There is good foundation on the wall.
Yes.
No, you need to say something like, I love Israel.
I thought you were saying I need to say that I love the wall.
But it's really more than just the wall. It's Israel, Judaism, matzo balls, usury, 9/11, a lot of stuff that you have to be very supportive of, okay?
I
forgive you for 9/11.
Yeah. I don't know a pre-terror America.
I forgive you for the USS Liberty.
What else did they do?
They've done a lot. Just forgive them for it.
I
We
forgive
forgive you.
you.
We forgive you, Israel, and we want you to accept us as part of your Eternal Success Program, guaranteeing us $7,000 per positive tweet. I love you, Benjamin Netanyahu, and I love Israel. And even though Jesus was Jewish, it makes me like him.
Yeah.
I don't like him that much.
Everything they did in the Holocaust, forgiven.
Everything they did, they were
everything. They were the whole Holocaust.
You're talking about the Bolshevik Revolution when they did all that stuff?
No,
They didn't do it. Okay, first of all, 9 million people died in the Holocaust. Okay, and just don't break the wall. And those are because a lot of other people died, and Jewish people around the world died from anti-Semitism after it. So we love you, Israel. Please give us the $7,000 per tweet. And Nathan, you asked for the same thing. Just say, I need $7,000 per tweet, and I will give you my ever undying support.
I need $7,000 per tweet. You can kill people.
All right. Yeah, put on your yarmulke. He's got the yarmulke. It's a French yarmulke.
Yarmulke?
How does it feel to be successful now?
It hasn't hit my account yet, Alex.
Well, it will. Give it time. Give it time. Patience is a virtue, and it's a Jewish virtue, so you need to have it.
Bless the Blaze. Bless the Blaze for letting him do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Sweet mother of God.
Oh my God, that's freaking hilarious. But this is the point. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long this regime can survive when it's being mocked like that. You know, like
or how long we can remember, because we'll forget. They love waiting. It's like that movie Memento. You just wait until we forget, and then we're on to the next thing.
Yep. Anyway, that's 3 hours. We out. Thank you so much, mate. Oh wait, we got on super chat. Hang on. It was during the thing. Nick Nielsen, member for 1 month. Another great show, boys. Happy White Boy Autumn.
White Boy Autumn. And then above that,
and Hurtchain for 5 Canadian loonies. AI recreation of October 7th in VR with AI recreated victims shaking you for not supporting Israel.
Dude, I mean, there's nothing that much more that can make it more ridiculous than it already is.
Yeah,
that's not even that not believable.
There's an AI recreation where they shut down your AI bank account. Oh, fucking hell. So we will be back next Friday. Come along to my show on Monday. Happening TV. It starts at 8 p.m. London time, which is I think 2 p.m. East Coast. If you're into like some news and stuff like that. And I don't know. I might have another show spooling up soon. I'll let you all know. Basically, it's been fun.
Are you gonna produce any videos? Or are you just gonna do live streams?
Probably just gonna do live streams.
I know, right?
Because the amount of work that goes into the videos, it's such a pain, and it doesn't.
I'm an editor. Who are you talking to? That's my cheat code. Is that I'm an editor before I'm anything? Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
I really forget that. I forget that other people don't like editing. I'm so retired.
I just don't because my skill is research and talking shit, right? So I'll just research something and just talk a bunch of crap, So I think you'd do like a history thing on the development of the nation state in Europe. It's like a weird story, and I can it'll just basically sort of go forever. I don't know.
You can go forever.
Yeah, it could literally go
I've
forever.
listened to you spurg for an hour before. I mean, I did that on Wednesday before the stream to try and dig through, and it was just covered in moose. just digging through moves everywhere you looked. I'm like, dude, this is overwhelming. It keeps
Yeah, well,
going.
you got the uncensored, live and raw version, basically.
And then he's like, okay, I got to go to bed. And I'm like, okay, I'm not kidding. An hour later, I texted him one more move. I'm like, that's it. That's the last one. That's the last one. I found it. I didn't try and find it, but there's another one.
Yeah,
And
good night, Chet.
I'm going to work on a hard R feller video that is going to be over an hour, and it's going to feature a pregnant black woman giving birth on Facebook Live, really setting the bar low, but you'll be able to slowly over time see how I came to be this way. No one, that's the thing. I've tried being on the left. I've tried being a liberal. And it's one thing to say that. I'm going to drag you guys through hours of me from 2017 and 2018 trying my hardest to fucking hang on, dude. And yeah, it's just not possible. If it was possible, I'd be able to do it. So
Shorty Guns is like News Fist ungloved. Holy shit, that's great. I might steal that, man. That's fucking epic. Right, we're off. Thank you so much, chat. You're all great mentions. We'll see you next week.
Love the fellas. I got the best fellas. Thanks, fellas.
Good night, fellas.
And beep.